Michael Chase has made me an offer to wipe away the boons that 2 of the coterie owe. I think he knows what we did.
What everybody else knows is that Tyler showed up to pay us a visit. We called the constable. Tyler's dead.
You've taken away the one thing we cared about.
I don't care about her. I care about her friend.
You see the outline of a figure up against an open window with what looks to be a jerry can.
Call a fire brigade.
Jim, I need to get Miss Morofsky out. Get her downstairs into the basement. The fire brigade cannot find her here.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this, the 7th episode of Blood on the Thames, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in London, England. With me tonight,
Carlos from, Venezuela, but playing Moses from Clan Nosferatu. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Peter, and I'm playing Benjamin the Melkadian.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm playing Katya the Tremere.
Hi, I'm Philip. I'm playing Jim Roy Woods of Clan Gangrel.
to save you all from the continually lengthy warbling that is me trying to recap everything, I'm going to hand it over to the players to try and recap on my behalf to see if we get through a bit smoother. So over to you, Carlos, if you want to kick us off. What happened last week?
Okay, so last week we started off with Moses meeting Alice, a Bruja friend of his, who made him know that the Honors are not really happy with the coterie due to what happened to Tyler Adams. They had a little bit of a fight, and then we moved on towards the Haven, where
there was the coterie had a meeting, generally kind of getting each other up to date on everything, and also discussing the deal Michael Chase, the Toreador Primogen, had put on the table. And the upshot of that was that Benjamin was going to try and finish a painting and persuade his sire to accept Michael's deal.
However, at this point, Benjamin was incredibly hungry but didn't want to take time to hunt himself. So Moses left the Haven to look for a suitable location for a quick hunting trip. However, whilst he was away, Katia received a phone call from her ghoul Will to let the coterie know that they were being watched and there were kindred outside their Haven looking in. Shortly after which, Will informed them that they had seen her, and Katya instructed Will to make her way to the local McDonald's and told Moses to go to the same place so she could make sure that Will was somewhere safe. But, however, when Moses went there, he found that Will was in the company of a very large thin blood kindred who had Will as somewhat a bit in a hostage situation, and he attempted to de-escalate the situation at that point, and it turned out the Thin Bloods are also very angry and all up in arms because obviously Tyler Adams was killed and he was their protector to some extent, trying to smuggle them out the city. And now they believe they have nothing left to lose and that it is all our fault.
So whilst that was happening, Thin Blood also snuck into the Haven and had, poured what I would assume is petrol all over Jim's room, and then set it alight. Managing, somehow, she caught light herself after hearing what may be the window and the door closed at the same time. We don't know. Jim managed to run towards this flaming girl.
Don't try that at home, kids.
No, don't try that at home, especially not with a vampire. He managed to, after a very lucky roll, incredibly fucking lucky roll, beat out the flames, but this Thin Blood is most definitely dead. He then picked up the Thin Blood and fled into the tunnels underneath, having sustained 2 aggravated damage, which is pretty serious.
That being said, the place started to catch fire. The situation with Will at the McDonald's escalated in the opposite direction fairly quickly, and she got stabbed. Moses tried to hurt the guy, but it's Moses, so he ended up taking Will to the hospital and then picking up Katya to meet her. Whilst Jim fled into the tunnels and hid there, while a small raging inferno was taking the cross hands room at a time, and Benjamin managed to grab a couple of his paints and his gear, jump into his car, and go to his flat.
With the Thin Blood escaped the McDonald's, although he was also badly injured by Moses. And he sent a text, I believe, which said next time.
Oh.
Because he has Will's phone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Indeed. So now we can talk to him.
And now we can talk to him. And I think so we ended with you'd gone to the Moses got
I was
you
at
to
the
the
hospital. Moses
Yeah.
waiting outside, I believe.
And I think it's fairly early-ish in the evening.
We've packed a lot in, a lot of murder and mayhem already.
Yep.
The night is young.
At this time, you're looking at about 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of stuff got crammed in. A lot of it occurred within your domain and Haven area, so there wasn't a lot of passage of time from travelling to one area or another. Kudos, by the way, guys, for summing that up a hell of a lot quicker than I would. I don't know how you do it. So, with this in mind, and everybody in their respective places, Jim, you're down in the tunnels. Katia and Moses at the hospital. Benjamin, you climbed into your car with the Haven currently burning. It's not fully ablaze at this point. The where it caught and the fact that it was in the room and the fact that the door was shut has managed to, and Jim's daring attempt to bring her down, and he, because of how many successes he netted on the attempt, slammed her down into an area where it wasn't likely to catch. Because of all of this combined, the Haven is still relatively intact. I mean, your room is probably extremely fucked.
As well as all this stuff in
The
there.
corridor is also likely to be damaged, but the response from the fire department was pretty damn prompt. And the fact that everybody's out of the building, the fact that they don't have to worry about going in and bringing people out, because Miss Morovsky and Katia have assured them that there is nobody else inside, they can focus purely on fighting the blaze, which they are doing commendably. And this you witnessed before you raced off. This you were watching as you flew past in your car, heading towards where?
To my flat.
Okay. So there is... It's not a quick journey over to your flat, although you are, I'm assuming, going quite quickly. You are gripped with the urgency of needing to complete your project quickly. You are aware that you have until sunset today, until sunrise today, to give an answer to Michael Chase.
Yes.
So you hurry back towards your flat, and at this point, you manage to arrive a bit later than you'd would have liked, but you do manage to get there in one piece. The drifting of the sirens in the distance begins to quieten as you finally get there, and you clamber out, taking your salvage paintings with you, the one thing that you were quick to grab when you left, and you hurry back up into your flat. It's pretty empty at this point, I'm assuming, because you took most of your stuff over to the Haven.
Yeah.
So you enter inside to a largely Spartan room. Your entrance room, which is where you used to do all your painting when Edmund originally brought you here. And it's odd seeing it in this state. But you go inside, you set down your paintings. What are you doing?
I'm going to paint like my unlife depended on it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
You're going to focus entirely on painting for the foreseeable remainder of the night?
Yeah, essentially, until I either have the painting done or someone has set fire to my flat.
But since your previous one was not a botch, as we would understand it as vampire players, but a botch in terms of it didn't go to the degree you were happy with, you will be starting from scratch. It will take the majority of the night. Because normally this would be something that you would do an extended success. Today, because you're trying to cram it in, I will allow a check against a difficulty 5. It was reduced down to the difficulty 4 because of how carefully you were observing Katia during that time. If you manage to get 4 successes, you'll manage to complete it, and it'll be what you're trying to envision. But if you manage to get a larger margin of successes, or critical wins, or both, then it's going to be something great. So this will take the remainder of the night. If you want to make your check now, or do you want to do it at the end?
I don't mind. What would you prefer?
I'm happy for you to do either way.
I suppose then I can weep or something through the rest of the
Yeah,
next
I
scenes.
suppose you can compose yourself for the remainder.
All right, so I'm going to rouse for this to get extra dice.
Are you on hunger like?
I'm on hunger 3, but you've got to live on the edge. Come on. Yeah! I get that as a 6.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
my hunger doesn't...
Okay, so because you are, so you get 1 additional die,
Yeah.
which makes your complete total dexterity plus crafts with your specialty
Yes.
applying,
Yes.
with an additional 1 for the blood surge.
I'm in.
How many dice?
3 of them are hunger. So
Yeah, 3 are hunger dice.
I
Oh, so that's 1 red 10, but
There
only
are
1 red
2
10.
ones though.
The ones doesn't matter unless I fail.
Okay.
The red will matter if I fail the difficulty, but I
You have
already
5
have...
successes.
Oh yeah, you do have.
I already have 5 successes.
You have 5 successes, and it doesn't make sense to spend willpower because you would be only re-rolling 1 die.
The thing is, if I roll the 1 dice to get a 10, it would turn
You'll-
into messy
you'll get a messy
critical, and that
critical.
I can't know. So I've got 5 successes.
Yeah.
5 successes.
I'll take it.
Nice.
Okay. Your phone, if it goes off at all, is completely ignored. The hunger that you're experiencing, although it's not overwhelming, certainly to the degree that you might have felt previously, not for a long while, but you certainly felt previously, is not as engaging with you as you shut everything out, go into your painting as you just begin doing this piece that you've envisioned, this minor, what's the word?
Minimalist.
Minimalist, yes.
Minimalistic piece, trying to capture Katya and her fury during the moments of the attack. And the more you're doing it, the more your brushstrokes just seem to happen of their own accord, and you are completely just, it's almost as though you were envisioning Katya in the same room. Once or twice you're pretty certain, your eyes do kind of go off as though trying to capture her where she was stood previously, trying to remember her, imagining her circling around to the back of your, it's sort of she's just looking at it and you're shoving her away. Everything about Katya and her movements you capture on page. Cool. And you do it with a greater degree of speed than you've managed to do most of the things in the last 2 nights. And whilst there is always a part of you which is thinking, no, this is not enough. Edmund like this? Is it good enough for Edmund? You are not dissatisfied with what you are doing over the course of the night. And as you finally step back just to kind of observe it, it does take you a few moments just to notice one tiny thing that you hadn't noticed before. One of the lines that captures between the eye and the nose, if you look at it and cant your head very slightly, it almost looks like a figure. And it grips you. The moment you see it, it's like... But seeing that one imperfection immediately kind of draws you back to the fact, no, this is probably not good. But then you think, no, Edmund will like it. He likes the truth in it. But then is this truth... and that uncertainty stays with you as you continue to work on it. There is always going to be a part of you that thinks, no, it's not. No, start again. But you persevere. For the remainder of the night, you continue to paint. Jim, with you in the tunnels, you can hear the sirens blaring loudly over above. You can hear footfalls going back and forth hurriedly in the domain up above. There is no one approaching the door to the basement, which is fortunate. What are you planning on doing?
So Jim
You
will
cannot get out that way without...
Jim will have first taken the corpse he's currently carrying and stashed it where he saw Moses, that Moses had hidden Tyler's body.
Okay, I will point out that there is a lot of stuff to stash in one place.
Yeah, we have like...
The more stuff you stash, the easier it's going to be to find this stuff.
so
But it's not like out in the open.
Because all that's there really now would be Jim's hammer that he would have left down there.
But unlike their corpses, hers is intact fully.
It would have been the skull that he's still got to get rid of, and now this corpse.
Okay.
So
So you're going to stow her corpse there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you move down the tunnels and then you just shrug her off of your shoulder and she just... with a sticky, wet thud upon the stonework underneath, and you can smell that burning. You can feel the incessant shooting pain going up your arm, and as you glance down at your flesh, you can see bits of it just peeling off and decaying and coming away. It doesn't look like a burn fully anymore. It looks almost like it's a mix between caustic acid and rotting flesh, dying flesh, and the smell of burning meat. And all of that mixed together to create something that, at a glance, someone would assume you've basically submerged your arm in some sort of very dangerous chemical, or the equivalent of. It doesn't look like a fire burn anymore. It does not look natural. And it's basically taken the entirety of your arm up to the elbow. But pushing aside that pain and the rage that it begins burning up inside you, and that almost vengeful growling of the beast in your gut and in your throat and at the back of your mind, what are you going to do?
Having spent a bit of time making sure the body is in there.
As well as it can be.
Yeah, as well as I can be. Breaking any bones that would be necessary to make sure it's working fully in.
Oh yeah, this is working into the assumption that you've been bending it in.
Yeah, bending it in ways that shouldn't be bended. Is going to, using his good hand, pick up the phone, and he's going to give Katia a ring.
Okay.
Am I currently walking through a hospital corridor?
Yeah.
I ignore it.
Okay. By the time he's gotten down, this is probably after you've broken enough bones to stow the body away. After you've listened to make sure no one's coming down, this would be about the time that you arrived, had your words with Moses, and you've just entered in.
Yeah.
So you're still in the foyer. You could answer it if you wanted to. However,
don't answer it, but I will send a message saying 10 minutes.
Okay. Bzzzt. 10 minutes.
Just twitch, but then alright, and sit down and then proceed to wait.
Okay. Moses,
Okay.
you are currently sat outside the hospital. You have Will's car keys because Katya doesn't drive.
Yeah.
What is your current plan?
I go to the McDonald's.
Okay. All right.
Most McDonald's have video surveillance. I want to make sure there is none. And if there is, I want to make sure it hasn't been taken, because the events are very recent. So if any police officer answered that, they're most likely coming here to check on a victim of a stab victim. So I'm going there to figure out how much was known. Also because the max of 1,000 faces makes you look like anyone who could expect random. So they would have all seen a different person. Okay. I want to see how that goes.
You make a quick return over towards the McDonald's, and the first thing you notice as you pull up is that you can't pull up right next to it because there are police cars outside.
Oh no, you walk. It's like eight
all right.
blocks.
As you walk down there, it is blocked off. You wouldn't have been able to drive up there had you taken the car. But as you approach the McDonald's, there are no people inside. The police are currently inside. The doors are locked with a sign saying that they are currently closed. Apologies for the inconvenience. And the manager is currently there speaking with the police officer. But as you watch from outside, you do note that she is currently handing off CDs to them.
Okay.
Or it would be CDs,
It would be VHS tapes or
VHS
CDs or CDs, depending on how.
And he is, and one of the police officers that are currently speaking to them, wearing stab vests and everything else. They are fully kitted out, and they are making notes, observing. There are some that are around the table which has been overturned. They're already beginning noting the spray of the pattern of the blood, both from Will's side where she was sat, and from the area where the thin blood had been bitten into and threw you off, and his progression towards the door. You managed to observe all this, and the police officers making their notes before where you are currently stood observing. There are police officers outside the building that are currently moving around, making sure that no one's straying too long.
The perimeter or whatever. I'm gonna regret this so much. I just walk back sort of out of sight so I can comfortably go hungry as I
Everyone's
go
running low.
Unseen passage.
Yet. Give it time.
So yeah,
on. You could.
I go hungry.
What are you on?
4.
All right, hang on. So Moses is on 4. Benjamin
It's on 3.
is on 3. Katia,
I'm on 1.
and now
Moses.
Jim.
Who's on 2?
2.
So all a different
Hey,
levels of
1,
hunger.
2, 3,
Yeah.
4. For now.
And we're in order.
Well, Katia and Jim.
Oh, no, we're not.
2, 1, 3, 4.
So you step away and you feel very, very it's almost like a dribble of water going over you as your body just begins taking on this illusion. You're no different. You haven't physically changed, but you are aware now that it is in effect. And as you begin moving back round, you are seeking to appear as
No, this is unseen passage.
unseen passage. Okay. So you begin moving up towards the building. No one seems to respond to your approach. The police officers are just having a look around. The doors are shut. They are locked.
But I want to go close to the squad cars or vans or whatever while I eyeball the person with the CDs, VHS tapes, or whatever in the back.
Okay. The police officer that is currently sat over inside the restaurant making the notes is the one that has the VHS and the CDs. And whilst they put it in a baggie, they just carry it with them. After they finish speaking, he gets up and begins moving around, just observing and speaking to the other police officers which are currently in. It doesn't look like he's currently planning on coming out.
Okay.
You're welcome to wait.
But he's grabbing it like in his hand. Is it
Oh, he's got it in his hands.
Other things of evidence or anything. I'm there, but as I'm hungry, I'm there like a kid watching from the outside to a very, very yummy pasty.
You do
a
glance
bag.
over. You do glance over to one of the cop cars next to you. The police car, sorry, not the police cars next to you. There is a police officer that's currently sat in there and just keeping an eye out, listening to the radio as it chips off. Very occasionally, just listening in, almost as though they're about to respond and they decide not to, or it's just not prudent for them to do so. They are close, and it is uncomfortably and intoxicatingly close. You can smell it, you can hear it, and it is almost distracting to the point where you physically stop yourself from putting your hands over your ears. It wouldn't help, but it's an instinctive response to just try and block out a noise. And you fiddle with your beanie. You don't come out, but you just focus on them, trying to ignore the through the window right next to you. And then, how long are you willing to wait there?
Right now?
Yeah. They're not making any immediate steps to come out. You wouldn't be able to maintain...
Break in.
Yeah, because the doors are shut. They've sealed it off. There are no customers in there. The only member of staff that you can currently see is the manager, who is speaking. Which is, you'd assume that there are still staff there. Maybe they are in the back. Maybe they are being interviewed by someone else.
I started walking around.
Okay.
I walk around the McDonald's.
Okay. You walk around. The police are maintaining a presence around the whole of the building with the rear. They are double checking everything. And this is, again, a worrying trend that you've noticed, that the police are very on the ball with regards to this. But, I mean, it's not massively surprising. And in hindsight, certainly given that you've been there and you've been keeping your finger to the pulse of the city as it was since you've been in, and your access to the Shrek net, it makes it clear that with the turning of the millennium, with the increased amount of kindred in the city, with the general crime rate in London, and now certainly with whoever this is that's been committing these Blood Eagles and the own slew of events which have been going on, and the Hyde Park incident on top of that, it is no surprise.
In 3 days, something like that.
Everything is mounting to the police becoming more and more on the ball and more willing to turn everything over. And it is worrying, especially now that this has happened on your doorstep. and you watch every area of the building. You make a slow circuit. People instinctively moving to avoid you, even though they can't register that they're seeing you. They clock you as you move past, and they make their own excuses to avoid you. So you make a slow passage around, and there is no immediate way that you can think of that you can get straight into this building through the two entrances.
How about through the entrance on the mall? Because this is on the butterfly.
You get
So
based upon what you're seeing, the area of the McDonald's and every access into it is what has been sealed off.
Okay.
The more you can still go into, but that's not going to help you get into McDonald's.
inside. Okay.
Yeah, I mean they had a stabbing.
Yeah, they have stopped it. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, and this has happened recently. They've come in, they've immediately shut this down, and this is on the same street where a building's just been set on fire. So the police presence at the moment, combined with the fire brigade, the entire area is basically sealed down. If you've got an idea for how you want to try getting in and try getting this, you're welcome to try, but you are...
Not with the hunger I have. I
Yeah,
think
you are
I'm
very...
actually gonna start walking down the street a little, because I assume that I have a good couple of hours, 1 hour at the very least, until they leave.
Maybe. This is not the normal... I mean, the police response tends to be quite good anyway.
Okay.
Especially for something like a stabbing. But with everything going on, it'd be it's hard to gauge whether this is going to be a normal police response or if they are going to turn that place over. Because as far as they might be aware, this person that tried to stab someone in open thing could be the same person that they've been after for whatever else.
Yeah.
And it's also worth keeping in mind that your own response in the situation is also likely being detailed to the police. And your response of biting someone in a clearly unnatural way and the marks that were left might also be flagged.
Yeah.
This is all which is going through your mind slowly as you're making a circuit and making your observations.
And if given that I'm so hungry, if I see someone trying to stay out of sight or whatever alone, an easy target,
What, within this area or just in general?
in general.
Okay, I will let you make a check if you wish. Tell me your approach and we'll come up with a dice pool. And this will be obviously a succeed at a cost if you wish.
It's basically someone like an employee that cannot leave but wants to go out for a cigarette, so hides like away from the McDonald's, but he's hiding.
They aren't leaving the police site.
Not
You get the
leaving-
feeling they're still being
Then
questioned.
any bystander that can be
Okay.
curious.
Then in that case we will say... I will say wits, but you get to choose which skill depending on the approach you're going to take to secure this meal.
Subterfuge, because I haven't dropped my Mask of 1,000 Faces. I just put my unseen presence, unseen passage on it.
Okay. You will have to drop your unseen presence.
I will have to, yes.
Yes. Okay.
But I just maintain my Mask of 1,000 Faces, so they will see me as anything. Please let them see me as a police officer so I can approach them easily. But I'm gonna. Like, they will approach me as anything they might anyone they might expect to show their.
Okay. Make your check.
Weeds.
This will be difficulty 3.
Oh, that's not great.
It's dropped because there are people clamouring, as they always will whenever there's an
I'm
incident.
gonna steal these for a second.
Yeah, sure.
And focus is not on you, it's elsewhere.
There we go.
This
You
can
need a full
be...
thread.
Yes, please. Well, I was gonna throw.
Keep in mind, however...
I can stretch to orange.
Keep in mind, however, that in terms of feeding, the speed at which you do it is also taken into account.
Yes. I
Being able to secure someone isn't that difficult. Being able to safely feed on them is another matter
Yes.
entirely. And you are very close to a police presence, so fingers crossed, Moses.
Cross your fingers, guys.
Ooh.
I have 4 successes.
4 successes? Okay. Because you got over what you needed.
Okay.
Okay. There is someone about in there mid-20s who is just observing. They are smoking, currently speaking to somebody else that is close by, asking them what's gone on, and they passed a comment just saying, oh, I don't know, all this. And then the other individual, still watching, slowly moves off in that trying to circle to get a better look, whilst trying to keep on their route going home, leaving this individual who's quite just blatantly just watching, clearly enjoying whatever it is and watching it going on, once or twice messaging on their phone, and then as their phone goes down, turns and looks at you and immediately straightens up, and you get, based upon the fact that they suddenly write and try and make it look like they're not taking notice, a completely different reaction than what they were just having with a member of the public. Your ruse seems to have taken the form that you wish to.
Okay. Luckily, he's looking at me as Officer Moses.
Okay. Okay. So, whilst he just waits for your approach, what type of approach are you going to be taking?
It's usually, I'm going to start with the basics. Evening.
Good
Really
evening.
curt.
Good
Really
evening,
short.
Constable.
How long have you been in the area?
Well, about 10 minutes.
So you have not been. You didn't see anyone.
No, I was waiting for the bus. I was waiting for the bus.
Can I-
Heard the sirens and
Can I ask you a couple of questions if you don't mind?
he double checks the numbers on your shoulders. Like, yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't see anything that went on. If that's what you're after, I just heard the sirens.
Oh yeah, but this is related to another matter. We have had a fire in the area, so buses are not going to be passing around here.
Oh, fucking really?
Come here. Let me escort you to the next bus station that is outside the perimeter. While I ask you a couple of questions, because I've seen some people here, but given the time of night, there's not a lot of witnesses. So
No, cheers. And he starts moving off with you.
okay.
It's an easy and believable ruse. You manage to get him somewhere as quiet as you can, while still maintaining your own composure, walking behind him. He does the occasional glance back at you, and more likely past you to try and get a last glimpse of what's going on. And then as you both turn the corner out of sight,
I literally alley-cat the guy.
the moment he turns, he's about to turn and say something, and his eyes go wide just as you grab hold of his chin, move it, and just bite down. Your fangs find purchase in the throat, into the vein, and then sweet relief.
What is
Sweet relief fills your throat as blood just begins pumping and pumping, and he begins going slack in your arms, but you grip him to you. And everything around you, all of the trouble, all of the turmoil begins going off. Is this your willpower roll?
Yes, 3 successes.
You are uncomfortably aware of that incessant need to continue. The fact that you can be fully satiated, you don't have to worry about that incessant pain anymore, but you fight through it and you release him.
I added my humanity. Was that appropriate for that role? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
My humanity
Plus
to that
2.
role.
yeah.
Should have been
Yes,
plus
yes,
2.
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And as you bring your fangs away, still bloody, your lips bloody, fresh blood over the semi-dried blood which was coating your maw previously. You wipe it off on the back of your hand and then remind yourself to lick the wound closed behind. And as he kind of slumps, he's still got his balance and his eyes are kind of rolling as though he's in a semi-daze.
Whoa. See, listen, have you been drinking? I haven't asked you that.
No.
Are you okay?
Oh, I got a headache.
Oh. Do you want me to escort you to the hospital?
Oh, no, I want to get the bus.
Oh, okay. That direction.
Thank you. And he starts staggering and moving off. He's okay. He's paler. He's still got his feet. And as he moves off, you quickly get the last bits off your hand and watch him turn the corner or stagger around the corner. That would have gotten you in the amount of time.
Probably. Well, one definitely.
It would have gotten you one.
One definitely. I don't know because I think
it
it's a
wouldn't have been
scene.
2 because you literally turned the corner and alley-catted the guy.
Yes. One is okay. One is better than
2, I believe, takes a scene
Yeah.
for you to do
Yes.
safely. I mean, if you want to do 2, you can. But there's
Well,
no
hurt
guarantee
him.
that what you just did to him was safe in how you closed the wound up. You did just bite down onto
Yes.
the vein.
No, and it's...
So if you're doing it
Makes
safely,
sense.
I'll say 1.
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep it safe.
Okay, so you're down to 3.
3.
now.
And now, with a little bit more, less hunger and more calm, I stay nearby. Now I can wait.
Okay.
Now I can text comfortably to Katya. Like I'm taking care of some business.
Bzzzt.
I don't expect her reply, because if she's allowed inside, she's gonna be busy with something else. I text
Benjamin.
person who will ignore me number 2. I was looking for an appropriate.
Yeah.
So, and I let him know that I'm with Katya, and she'll send it mine. I think I already texted him about that. But it's like, I'm taking care of some business, and now I talk to Jim. Well, I text Jim, and I tell him I'm taking care of some business. Is there anything in the Haven that needs removing before the police arrives and finds something? Like I assume that he, being the guy with the lockpicks, he might have something stolen, something illegal, something whatever. So I just ask him, like, is there something that you would like to get rid of or make disappear from the ashes of the fire?
Well, just with the blaze room, anything you would have stolen from Will previously, you're pretty sure is scorched utterly. So pretty sure that would be safe. The remains of the corpse and the skull are with him in the tunnels.
Anything like I go like drugs. Even if they burned and melted, we might need to take them out. I know he doesn't do drugs, but sometimes you need to have drugs to bribe drug addicts. Hey, that was Nosferatu 101. Don't look at me that way. Anything illegal? Like literally, I'm looking
This
for.
is a long series of texts you're
Text,
sending.
man. There's going to be like 4 texts.
The old type phones,
Remember,
you couldn't get like a lot of characters.
Yeah. I am sending like a gazillion texts, but you have to remember, I don't trust Jim that much. So a simple no, everything's fine, will make me feel happy, because he might be missing something. I mean, Benjamin told me that when they went and found, who was it? Will, the one who got blood eagled.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Will Sperring.
Will's, yeah.
You said that he mentioned that Jim was snatching stuff.
Yep.
I want to make sure that then we don't have an ongoing investigation or whatever. Like, okay,
So
I'm not expecting it.
So Jim received a text with his good hand
Text.
and calls back. Moses.
Oh, okay. Oh. Hi.
Yeah,
Where are you?
I'm in the fucking tunnels. Fucking bitch.
Walk closer to the column that's painted in blue.
I'm looking at the hand going, it would be very unwise for me to leave the tunnels at the moment.
Yeah, I'm talking about the column in. You're cutting off. Walk to the column that's painted blue.
Let's see if there's a column painted with fucking tunnels.
Okay, better. Now I can hear you.
Anything that I would have had, looking at how the fire was, would likely have been destroyed. However, in Katya's room there is a little something that should probably be removed pretty
Oh
promptly.
shit! Dreamier magic stuff. Yeah, let me.
You remember what we discussed? What happened previously? A little mess.
Which one? You
Bang
mean when
bang?
they? Katya has a gun.
Yeah, that gun.
You gave that gun to Katya.
Would you rather I kept hold of it?
Oh, yeah.
And on another note, I can't go out there myself at the moment because, well,
Yes, you can. Walk. Face the column. Turn to the left. And walk.
not for that. In the event that I would be seen, a person would certainly recognise the state of my arm at this current point.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you to walk towards Denmark Hill. There is a security exit that leaves close to the hospital. So if someone sees you with a burnt arm, you're going or coming from the hospital. Just pretend to bandage it with anything.
Your arm does not look natural.
That's not going to work. A, because if you see this, you'd understand. And B, I have nothing to bandage this with. My clothes aren't exactly in any point capable.
Wait for me in the tunnels.
Yeah. And if you're going, would you bring some black bags? Because that I've got must to do with dealing it with down here, but I didn't have that to deal with.
You mean the bags we use for special deliveries?
Exactly, right? Those ones.
Beak. I check the situation, see how.
They're still talking. They're still making notes. There is a lot of conversation going on between police officers, and there is one or two individuals in there who are plain clothes, and they are the ones making notes. They are the ones that are moving around with the gloves. They are pointing bits and pieces out, and they are looking over old...
Forensics, looks like.
If they are, they got there fucking quick.
Inquisitors.
They are just making notes. They are making observations. Now and again, they look up into the corners, and they begin moving themselves and almost trying to line things up to see what can be seen. Almost, they couldn't have seen the CCTV.
No.
Well, assuming they haven't seen the CCTV.
Probably they could have seen on the screen, or like on the display of the home.
But they're matching what they can, where the cameras go up to the splatter of the blood, the condition of the table, which is fucked. I mean, you hit it with potence, it's fucked. And this is quite a sturdy table where you've basically buckled it a quarter of the way in, and pitched it off onto its side. Condiments are all over the place. There's.
I mean, it's okay. It was only barbecue.
Your coffee is gone everywhere as well.
Oh, that one do.
It's McDonald's coffee. You're okay.
Yeah.
I do like McDonald's, disclaimer, but coffee.
So now that they got here, and they're doing that, is when they're gonna start like taking pictures and all of that, and putting like little signs and.
Yeah, they're slowly working their way through it.
Brilliant, because that gives me time that I need to go to the Haven and look for Katya's gun.
Okay.
A gift from Jim. Oh my god.
Okay.
Like the first thing when he said, like, remember what happened before? I was like, what? Tyler dead.
Okay. Right. Watch you do this. Katya. You begin inquiring at the reception the moment you go in a flurry of thinly veiled emotions, and you are asked by the nurse, you're asked for the name, you're asked for who it is that you're after, and when you mention a stabbing victim, I'm assuming, they begin looking down the notes, and then immediately she goes, do you know the name of this person?
Yes.
Yeah, we'd like you to fill in some details with us if you can.
Okay.
We need the name.
Sorry. Wilma Price.
Wilma Price. And we need an age.
24.
Do you know where she currently resides?
I couldn't give it to you exactly. We're
Do you know her blood
close
type?
friends, but I don't know her blood type.
And what's your relationship to her? Sorry.
We're good. We're close friends. I knew her from university.
Okay. Well, she's currently in intensive care,
Right.
and the doctors are doing everything they can for her. All we can ask you to do now is just take a seat, and as soon as we know anything, we'll let you know.
Okay.
And she gestures for you to go over.
Will I be able to see her this evening?
I couldn't say. I mean, she came in quite a critical state, so the doctors are currently doing everything they can. I don't want to make assurances for you if you just take a seat, and as soon as we know anything, we'll let you know.
All right.
And then she gestures for you to go and take a seat, and you sit down. And there's loads of people around you. There's loads of individuals you are uncomfortably aware of, especially in the states of their injuries, 1 or 2 with bleeding wounds, not severely bleeding wounds, your eye is immediately drawn towards them and your nostrils unwittingly inflate. I mean, they're inflating anyway, you've still got blush of life still going, but it's there, it's not overriding. You are as hungry as vampires can potentially aim to be, comfortably, but you are aware of it, and you are also aware of the stink of the sanitary, the sanitizing chemicals and everything else. This place is similar to your lab, but it's not familiar, it's not comfortable, because your lab is where you are with Will, and at the moment you are in a different capacity, and everything around you it's uncomfortable. The people around you moaning over their injuries, these minor injuries that they can't deal with themselves, it's irritating. And the fact that the nurse isn't coming over to you, even though you've only just sat down to give you updates, is irritating. And as the minutes begin passing on the clock, which is up the wall, so torturously slowly moving, you are uncomfortably aware of just how long you are here and how long it has been, and the fact that no one's approaching you. And as 5 minutes turns to 10, are you going to respond to Jim?
First, I would like to send a text message to Sabine.
Okay.
And fairly short, fairly simple, just asking if she has any availability later this evening for a chat about something she might find possibly interesting or useful.
Okay. There's a long pause in the response that you get from Sabine. Eventually, your phone begins to buzz, and then it stops. Buzzes again, and then stops. And then a text message just comes back of, yes.
Okay. And I will message Jim saying, it's going to be longer. I can't tell you exactly when.
But it's maybe waiting at that point, pick the phone and try and ring her.
Bzzz. Bzzz.
Jim?
Katia? With the... your people do some weirder things. With what I have, is there anything you'd need off of that before I get rid of? Start to get rid of?
Other than some Tupperware boxes in my room, not really. A lot of my stuff is in the basement.
I think I don't know what you'd want from that. So, what are you up to at the moment?
I'm waiting in a hospital waiting room.
Why are you in a hospital waiting room?
You're a few miles behind, aren't you?
I'm a little bit underground at the moment, so yeah.
Is... the others going to be with you soon?
Moses might be coming along.
That's fine. He can let you know what's going on.
You sound upset. What's
More
going
so
on?
than usual.
What's going on?
Personal business. Moses will keep you up to date. There's nothing I can tell you that he couldn't.
In the interest of us working together, some honesty would be nice.
There's honesty, and then there's being painfully transparent. I will... Look, we can have a proper chat later. Just trust me. This is probably the first time I've actually asked you that. But I'm just... I can't right now, okay?
When you can, I'll probably still be in this fucking place the rest of the night.
Make yourself comfortable.
Comfortable here, right.
Don't know, like dig a bed or something.
Dig 'em!
See you later.
And she hangs up.
The tunnels are comfy.
dig a fucking bed.
I mean, you're a gangrel.
I've slept in worse places.
You've slept in worse.
But still dig a
But
bed.
at least the places that you have been sleeping seem a bit more natural than this cold stonework. And you are uncomfortably aware that as you look down the tunnels, you can hear the squeaking of vengeful rats.
I'm gonna still trying to keep where I think bigger modes might come past the pillar. I'm gonna see whatever results that I could potentially find, and see if I can start making some rat traps.
Okay.
I kind of want big ones that will ideally just capture, not kill, if
Even
possible.
harder.
Yeah.
If possible, but it's better to give Jim something to fucking do, because he's in quite a bit of pain in the
Do you
room.
have any crafts?
No crafts, but
Okay.
I believe chaps might will come into survival.
You're building
You're building. I mean, if you
mechanism.
were trying to catch them out in the wilderness and stuff like that, then yeah. But if you're trying to build
Got
it,
the
jury
technology.
rig it in a tunnel, which
I
is
do
pretty
have
Spartan,
technology.
it'd probably be crafts more than anything else. I mean, if you're out in the woods and you're
He's
utilising
bored.
natural elements to try and make
I
them
had
inch but
improvised kind of.
Yeah, just scrapping and thinking about it. Really.
this is a concrete
Yeah.
tunnel. I mean, you could get rocks and weight, and then it'll be,
Dim's wearing.
it's just. I mean, you've got all the time in the world.
I think the idea is just spend the time trying to build maybe at first rather rubbish little traps, but ones that maybe he could use continually over time. Because knowing that
You want to make a rat farm?
It's all for
Blood.
Ben's benefit.
for Ben's benefit, get a dozen rats. That's
So how much you enjoyed them the first time. And thus began the first
Then
episode of
don't
Love
look
and
for
the Thames,
Don't
Tom
start
and
with the
Jerry.
trap. Start with the pen.
So
Yeah.
you begin occupying yourself, your time.
Yep.
Katia, the passage of time for you is uncomfortably long. Ben, you commit in over and over again, re-attacking this painting, trying to make it better, whilst not overstepping the limitations you put for yourself and making this minimalistic, making it a different approach to how you want to do. But every single thing you're doing, there is a moment where, as you commit to it, you wonder whether or not it's going to ruin it. That one stroke which is going to throw it
it's
out.
like the
But
last one.
as you do it, no, that's okay. And then you begin reassessing, trying to find the other strokes that will make it better than good. And this continues long into your evening. Moses, you continue to observe. They don't look in a hurry to go anywhere.
Head to the haven. I have other messes to clean.
Okay, so you begin making your way back towards the haven. The fire brigade's still there. There are people still observing. Mrs. Morovsky's no longer there. She's been taken wherever she's going. And the flames have... You can't see any from outside, but there is still smoke billowing. They are still on the scene. They're still observing, and they are now at the point where there are fire officers moving in and out, in and out.
So it's safe for them to move around, but we're not going in anytime soon. That's good.
Well, you can try if you want.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Pause, wait. Yeah.
I just got here. Was anybody hurt?
No, we got everybody out in time.
And where's Mrs. Morovsky?
Oh, the old lady. No, she's been taken down to the hospital just to make sure she's okay. I think she's gone into a
Yeah.
bit of shock.
She works for me. Where am I? Look for one of my cards. I'm John O'Sullivan. I am actually one of the owners of the place, and I received a call saying that it had burned.
I think there's a police officer that's.
I'm one of the
interested.
landlords. Yeah. I would gladly talk to
Okay,
him.
so Jonas Sullivan, he takes the card, he pulls out like a pen from within his coat and begins writing on the back. And you own this place?
Yeah. Well,
Okay, well, the
with
police
my
were
associates,
asking-
but I was the closest one.
Because we've got the fire safety officer that's having a look to try and discover why the blaze started. So he's probably going to want to speak to you.
Yeah.
The police as well.
Yeah. But I have I will stay outside, right? Or is the fire complete?
No, you can't go in there.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Whew.
No.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's fine. I mean, they'll provide a full report, and they're also going to, you should be fine as long as everything is up to code. As long as there's no liability on your part, you should be fine. But
oh yeah, there shouldn't be a problem because we purchased this place not too long ago, and we had all the papers, like everything was
no, I mean,
square
it should
and
be.
neat,
I mean,
so.
no one got hurt, so I can't. Hopefully, you got insurance; it should cover it. Depending on circumstances, but we'll submit a full report. In the meanwhile, you've got a place to go to, I'm assuming.
Oh no! Yeah. I have my place.
Yeah, 'cause,
I just own this. Just came here to make sure everybody was okay.
Well, we're doing it as quickly and as efficient as we can. You'll get the report. In the meanwhile, it's off bounds.
Yeah,
Until we can do
definitely.
our-
I will let the officer know. I will go to the hospital because I don't know if they have enough good reception there for the phones. If they want to call me throughout the night, I'm going to make sure Mrs. Morovsky is okay, and then he can leave a message in my voicemail if it needs to.
All right, I'll pass that along to him when he comes back round.
Thank you very much. And I just stay there, longingly looking at the cross hands. Like, wow, my investment. Wow, which windows are the easiest ones for me to break in and get that gun?
There's a fire escape up the back.
Yeah, I know.
If only there were some that were already broken.
So I'm just gonna, being the like, I know it's out of bounds, but maybe because I am the guy who owns the place, like, can I just have a look on this side, like far away, but maybe they allow me, like, look from an angle from me. Okay, everything's alright, nothing was burned, properties, like damage to the neighbors, for example.
Roll manipulation plus persuasion.
This is not great.
It's not going to be subterfuge because you're not really lying. You do want access to the side of the building.
Yeah.
Manipulation is more for the reason you're doing it.
Yeah, I don't have. What is it? Persuasion?
Manipulation plus persuasion.
Do you need hunger dice?
Sorry?
Do you need hunger dice? That's something.
Yeah, all of them are hunger dice, so it's okay.
Oh God.
It's okay.
I'm still okay at hunger 3.
Everything's fine.
I'm going back to the Chantry, guys.
Everything's fine.
Please get a bestial failure. That's all I need now.
No, 2 successes.
2 successes, yeah. Okay, so you guys.
See, that's why I don't need red dice when all your dice are.
Okay, I
hunger
shouldn't. But if you're quick, and don't go in the building. If
No.
you do-
I'm just gonna check and come back.
Yeah.
I want to make sure no neighbors have been hurt or their property or anything. And just around and back. I'll be here before you know
As
it.
quickly as you can.
Look, I start, like, I run, case it as fast as I can, easiest point of entry, and then go back. Okay. Thank you very much. Was there any damage to any neighbor's property?
No.
Great.
The fire, because of the fact that the windows were shut and the door was shut, and how quickly Jim tackled her before she could hit anything flammable, the damage to the corridor is largely cosmetic. Based upon how the window and the area surrounding the window of Jim's room, his room's probably totaled.
Okay, so anything in Bill's in Jim's room?
It's more his room and the corridor.
Probably the neighboring room, so that floor. So that floor would be
Their response was very
Wait.
quick.
nice. Okay, thank you very much. Now I'll leave to the hospital, but you have my number, so
Yeah, I'll pass it along to
Oh.
the officer when he comes back around.
definitely.
He can give you a call.
Thank you very much. And I'm gonna be working all day tomorrow, but he can always leave me a message, and I'll call him later. Okay.
Cool.
Good evening. And then I grab my phone, pretend to call whomever, and walk away. While I now try to break into my own house. Why?
I'm a happy ST. Okay, so this will be low because you know the property. It will be Dex plus Stealth. Well, I'll give you a choice. It'll be Dex plus Stealth if you're trying to go in an obvious way and just trying to do so unnoticed, or it'll be Dex plus Larceny if you're going to try breaking in through a window or something similar.
No, I do my stealth breaking specialization. I am more comfortable.
Yeah, sure.
Just walking in. Now I'm gonna need hunger knife because.
I mean, you using that, it works on the assumption that you're going in through one of the fire escapes. It's a case of just trying, because the fire officers are going in and out. It's just finding the window for you to make the break up the fire escape and get in before they come around the side of the building and notice you going up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's literally just you know your entryway, you know the path you want to go, you know how to get to the
I'm
Chantry
looking
room.
for like playing Princess Persia 1.
Yeah.
And waiting for the right moment to.
So it's basically going to be
before you.
it's going to be taking half, so it's going to be a difficulty of 2. For the officer that's currently out, the distraction's going on, he'll take a penalty, so it'll be 2 successes.
Not looking great. But I have. Oh, yeah.
That's good.
And no dice on this. Because I saw a 0, like a 10 on
you're good.
a hunger dice.
You're good.
But it's 5 successes.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
you
5.
step around the corner with your phone there. The moment you turn around and you see him go, phone goes in. You move over towards the edge. You glance around. The moment he bobs inside the building, step inside. Stop as a fire officer comes out of the room and goes into the next one. Up towards Katya's. Step inside. You have Katya's room now to try and find this gun.
Search. I don't know. Like, I literally search as fast as I can.
Are you going to be delicate, or are you just going to take it apart to find
I'm
it?
not going to trash the place.
Okay.
Because I cannot be loud.
There's a lot of boxes of spiders.
There is.
I'll.
Actually, I think this is the first time you've seen Katya.
This is the
You're the
first time
first
I
Do you
person
want to
who's
describe
been in
it for him?
Yes,
To be fair, my room isn't that out of the ordinary. It's not like there's no like cauldrons or like Breaking Bad like stuff.
Probably just
There's
'cause
no
you haven't
meth
moved them
lab.
over.
Not yet.
Just started the description of your room with several boxes of spiders. Now,
It
anything
just
from that
happens
is
to
going to
be like several. You know those really useful boxes, the plastic storage boxes.
Oh, yeah,
There are like a
Tupperware
few of those
ones,
stacked up,
They
and
stack
then
up.
within there are Tupperware boxes which have spiders in, and they're all alive. They're not
Yeah,
dead.
like daddy long legs. The
Various
occasional
different
wolf
species.
spider.
It doesn't seem like I've been that like specific, and that's just against one rule. The rest of the room looks actually fairly like usual. There's just like there's a bed which has like a big Star Wars duvet on it. You probably see like my N64 by 2001. Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Maybe
For
some-
GameCube,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably see like an N64 in there as well. And there's a lot of books, but it's you know because you were there that most books that are about topics that might be a little bit more
Out in my
worrisome
room.
are all down in the basement. And yeah, other than that, there's nothing particularly.
So no posters.
I mean, yeah,
of, like,
there's probably posters of
Anything.
various science fiction things
Oh,
around.
okay, cool.
Ooh, yeah, that sort of thing. And probably like a very 80s like colourful like rug or stuff. There's quite a lot of 80s aesthetic going
80s,
on.
the Goonies style.
More like 80s kind of. There is a Human League poster on the wall.
Okay, I go
Which I think might
into
be
the
slightly
toilet and
under
look
there.
under the sink, and then I look into the drawers and under the bed. That's my initial search.
Okay. Is it specifically in any of those places?
It's not specifically in any of those
Okay,
places.
right. In that case, I'm going to need a check from you to check.
Can I say warm?
This is going to be.
Write him a note where it is.
This
He
is.
knows where it is.
Okay.
Titus knows where it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not make
I
it
said
obvious.
last session where it was.
So,
I'm going for places Moses would think you would hide it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, given the room, she doesn't look like a criminal. In Jim's room, I would literally start taking the floorboards apart.
Yeah.
In your room, I'm looking like in your bedside table, you know? Like somewhere that you don't look like a criminal.
No.
Oh, there's also like some Genesis cassettes. A bit of The Police.
Nice. Classic.
Yeah.
Pulls with the little. Okay.
Okay,
That keeps
right.
annoying me.
Based upon the fact that you're doing this on your knowledge of Katya, we'll go intelligence
Okay.
plus investigation.
Okay.
Because you're not ripping the room apart, you're trying to do process of elimination
Yeah.
in the minute maybe that you've got before someone starts blocking off your
Now is
thing.
where I have the Messy Critical plus
Please.
compulsion
Yeah.
for some
No,
reason.
not in my room.
It is only
Oh my.
one success,
Oh,
And there's a 1 or a red dice.
but there's a 1, so I might end up. If it's not enough, I might end up with a compulsion.
let's willpower it.
Do you want to?
Yeah,
Can you?
I could, but it would only re-roll 1 die because everything else is.
You
As long as
might
you don't
want
roll
to
the one.
consider that.
But unless you roll another 1, you'll stop the.
Unless
compulsion.
Katya was being really, really optimistic, it is not just going to be left out in an obvious place like open a drawer. Ah, there's a pistol.
Yeah.
So 1 is not
There's a
going
military
to.
grade weapon.
Yes. Good old Glocks.
Yes.
I mean, you could have texted me as well.
Okay, 2.
Yeah.
That's what you needed.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so 1 superficial willpower. Everyone else has recovered their willpower.
Yeah.
I never spent.
Okay.
No, apart from you.
Well, I
Yeah.
I had 1 superficial willpower.
You
from
have
that
one.
session.
Yeah, at the start of each session, it's composure or resolve, whichever one's lower.
Yeah.
Which one's higher?
Higher is what you recover in superficial willpower. So
I
you
have
would have
one,
recovered that,
so-
and then you've just taken one.
Okay, so I'll just leave that one.
So it takes you a bit of rummaging around, and Katia, it is
It is in the lining of the mattress.
within the lining of the match. It takes you a bit of as you're
When
going
when
around.
I'm looking under,
Yeah.
under
When you're,
the
and it's
bed.
actually in a moment where you're going over and you're admiring the Star Wars mattress, and as you kind of put your hand on it, you're like, and you lift it and have a look around, and for the small incision that she's made to hide the pistol in, you reach in and grab it, exhale, just as you're coming not up the stairs, but on the landing downstairs.
Okay.
I'm going to need another check of roll from you to get out without being
Oh
seen.
my god.
Okay. Messy Critical.
Oh, come
I was
on.
gonna
Drinks
say,
the
if
firefighter
this can even
dry.
be called my mess, it's about the most minimal mess we've had.
Yeah.
Sorry?
If we can even call this my mess, this is the most minimal we've had. It wasn't me who set fire to the house.
It is only 1 success.
You might want to re-roll that
What?
willpower. Spend a willpower, man. You got 3
Oh
dice.
god.
I have several. I cannot have 5 successes every single session. You
That's
know, guys.
true.
You can re-roll. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're
three.
up to 3.
No 10,
Look
so
at
no
his
risk
face.
for,
Look how
for
happy
critical
he is.
success. For Messy Critical. But that gives me 2 more successes, so a total of 3.
Okay. You come down the stairs doing your absolute best to avoid any creaky steps. This is an area you've not regularly gone. This is probably the area you know
Yeah.
least about. And you do manage to stop. Glance around the corner just as a fire either the fire marshal or whoever's in charge who's making notes, just observing things, and he's going around just glancing at the damage on this this floor. He turns the corner, just going down. You step around the corner, and you could have sworn you heard as he started to turn back around, and you stopped, and then the footsteps began retreating, and you quickly made your way back over to the door leading over to the fire escape that you came in through, and hastily go down. And just when you get right to the bottom, a fire officer's about to turn the corner, but you've already started sprinting towards the other end, and you turn the corner just when he does his own.
Okay, so that's one thing sorted. And now
There were no repercussions.
now I'm packing.
No, you're packing, yeah.
No.
Make sure the safety's on. Yeah. Now where are you going?
Back to the McDonald's. Jim found a gun. Your room is totaled. Actually, let me see if he's still near the blue column. And I call him.
Make sure I head back towards the blue collar and pick up.
Hello?
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 Alright.
Oh, better. Okay, better. I got Katya's toy.
Yeah, yeah, good. Good.
That's awkward. I am going to the McDonald's.
You can't drop me off some black, some of those bags on the way potentially, because
Yeah,
I'm a little stuck down here.
I couldn't get to the kitchen and get the black bags, so
got a
I
wallet?
think I
You haven't got a wallet?
I have a wallet, but I don't have a. I haven't even had a condom in my wallet for ages. How would I have in my wallet a black bean?
You have money in your wallet, don't you?
Yeah, but it's close to midnight, and so it's gonna be complicated for me to buy it. I need to intercept the police officers before they take the evidence from the McDonald's. Also,
What evidence?
I want to watch that evidence as well.
What evidence?
Will stabbing?
What?
I'll get back to you.
Leaving you alone with this.
Text Katya. You did not tell Jim.
I assumed you would tell Jim.
Jim puts his phone away before he questions it.
Call Jim again.
What?
Yes, one of the Thin Bloods responsible for the burning, he had made out Katia in the McDonald's. She had her pretty much like a hostage. I tried to de-escalate the situation, but the guy decided that it was worth it, both setting our haven ablaze and stabbing Will on the chest. I managed to bite a piece of his bicep or whatever passes for his arm, but there are cameras.
Nice. Yeah. With regards to that, the one who set the Haven light, I have with me.
Oh, you got her. He told me that it was the girl with the hair.
I have her in a sense.
She's the one you're asking the black bags for, isn't it?
Hey, I didn't fucking kill her. I was trying to save her ass.
Hmm? Wait a second. You're trying to tell me that we do have another corpse,
Yep.
but you actually actively tried to save her.
This equates to the reason why I cannot come above ground at this point.
Oh, okay. Well,
There we go. Now we get it.
let's do it this way. Try to come out, actually, from the blue column. Put your back to the blue column and you're facing the put the wall on your left.
Yeah. If I'm going to come out, I'm going to need to change of clothes,
Yes,
some bandages, and
that's
some
exactly
serious
what I'm
fucking
saying.
deodorant.
That's what I'm saying.
You will be there with that?
Not yet, but you can walk all the way to Denmark Hill, where I told you to walk, and stay inside the tunnel there. Because after I finish here, I'll go to the hospital and get you everything you need, so you can come out. Or better yet, I can pick you up in the car, so you don't need to even walk around.
Yeah. With this, it's probably best to have something covering it anyway, as well as change of clothes.
I'll make sure.
I'm going to need some as well as.
Walk that way. Walk that way. Wait for me inside the tunnel. And
Alright.
there is a big do not enter thingy.
Yeah.
Enter. Through that.
You will be there. You better be there soon, because otherwise.
Beep. And I start walking towards the McDonald's because I now realize that the CSI team might have left while I found the gun.
Okay. As you are reapproaching the McDonald's, you do find the individuals with the blue gloves are not currently inside. They are outside by the cars, and they are currently speaking among themselves. There are still uniformed officers inside. The manager's not there anymore.
Try to look for the one that had the thingies, the videotapes or whatever.
Okay. He is currently sat in the car alongside the individual that you saw previously.
Okay.
The bags
I think I'm gonna go hungry
are between
again.
them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go hungry again. Look at me. Okay, I need a slight distraction. No, that'll make it worse. They are already on it.
That is the first time any of you have said anything about anything you suggested in this game so
That'll
far.
make it worse.
That'll make it worse.
Moses usually tries to think beforehand,
Okay.
and before this he was hungry. Okay, it is in the car with him. I take note of which precinct, area, police station, whatever
Okay.
they might be coming from.
The closest one. This is the same one you went to previously.
Okay, he's the one I have the bug. He's like, I don't want to get into further trouble tonight. Also, I'm at hunger 3. But sadly, that poor woman taking care of the evidence room, she's gonna get fired so bad. I feel for her.
Take a stain.
I think I'm gonna leave because if it's the same police station, I'm gonna go pick those things later. I don't know what I'm
Okay.
gonna do.
Okay.
I need to think about this and think it through because unless they move,
It is worth pointing out, and this is me being benevolent for a change. Sometimes rushing into things is not the wisest course.
Yes.
Sometimes damage is already done, and sometimes you guys physically doing stuff yourself is not the most potent tool you might have.
so right now I'm just gonna let it sit there because if need be, I can try and sneak it again to the police station because I already know a route in and out of the evidence room, which is
Yep.
like coincidentally the place I would need to go.
Yeah.
And I would try to take them. But right now it's not a major concern. I was with Mask of 1,000 Faces, but caught on camera. So I would need to figure out whether or not that was a Masquerade breach. In
The
full.
bite you did was clearly unnatural.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But
But that is the big thing that you need to be.
Wary of.
Yeah. It's not that you to mortals would be recognizable necessarily. It is the fact that that is clearly not just a person biting another person on the arm.
Yeah.
And keep in mind the recent incidences have all involved animal
Biting.
attacks, bitings, etc. This is the big concern.
That's why I'm just gonna let it sit.
Yep.
People
Okay.
are gonna look intently to those videos. And
Okay.
Probably.
Right. So you're remaining at the hospital. Jim, you're grounded.
I go to the car park. I go back to the hospital, to the car park, as
Yeah.
I said, and start driving to the Lawrence Hill above ground railway station.
Yep.
And then I walk towards the exit on the tunnels that we have there. So I park the car. I just walk towards the exit, meet with Jim in the tunnels,
Yep.
and give him my shirt. It's like, well, here. It's not like I am gonna be freezing, and also people are not gonna realize I'm not wearing a shirt. And I put my hoodie.
I just hold him out and go, you got something that'll cover this?
Yes.
That is the moment you glimpse this injury. There is a part of you which shrivels internally and then tightens. It is a stark reminder of your own fleeting mortality, and the burn. It's not just a horrific burn to look at. It is someone that sees that is immediately going to assume that someone has basically got in his hand, put it in the absolute worst kind of aggressive agent they
Acid,
could,
yeah.
and held it there. You can spy polished white at one point that you're pretty certain along the side of a finger is probably bone.
You're wearing your clothes, right? Or are they burned as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all along your arm is pretty much exposed.
And
What I do is I
they're
keep
probably
my shirt. I give him my hoodie. So at least he'll have something that is sort of long sleeved.
You get a hoodie which is sticky and wet.
Yeah.
Have you been feeding?
It had a little bit of blood.
No.
It's not mine. It's a mix of Will's, the thin blood, and the guy I fed from.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Dude, it's been a long night, but that's a good hoodie for you to walk the block that I need you to walk so I can pick you up in Katya's in Will's car while we wait for Katya at the hospital. And that's what I do. Then I relax. I sit down in the parking lot next to the car, smoking a cigarette, waiting for Katya, figuring out what to do with.
I assume Jim's probably in the car.
Yeah.
Aware that he's trying to play nice with the coach, so he's sat there making sure he's in out of mode. Otherwise, because he's like to go off and do something, which he knows is not the wisest idea.
Yeah,
So
right now
he's
it's just a waiting game. I let him know about.
Meanwhile,
I like to imagine that like Eye of the Tiger is playing in the background in my mind.
Nice. So for you, it's nerve wracking.
Yeah.
How could this possibly get any worse for
I
you?
know.
I mean, there's a time limit and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you're happy with it? False brushstroke.
I know. They just don't understand how hard my life is. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you continue to wait, and hours begin passing, and no one approaches you. People get up, move. They're called in. They go and see, and before long, you are alone with one other person in the waiting room, still waiting. The receptionist at this point has long gone, replaced with another. And all you can do is focus on that clock, and it's slow passage of minutes. And it is just when your irritation is beginning to build to the melting point that finally someone comes around the corner, a doctor, and he looks over, sees you, and then approaches and goes, are you here for Wilma Price?
Yes.
Oh, hello. I'm Dr. Matthews. I was the one that was dealing with her. She is, she's not in immediate danger. She is still in critical condition. She is basically being seen to. The injury was, it punctured the lung, which began filling with. I won't go into full details, but she is stable for now. We are keeping her under observation. However, I do have some questions I'd like to pose to you as and he glances down at the sheet that the nurse was filling in, as a close friend of hers.
Yeah.
If you'd like to follow me.
Yeah, I'll try and be as helpful as I can.
Yeah. And he takes you further up the corridor to where it's quieter. There's only one other person there, but it's clear he wants to have a private discussion. And when he gets further up the corridor and takes you into a little glassed-in waiting room. So it's got a door that can open and close, but for the moment you're the only ones in there. You can see an area which is filled with children's toys and stuff to keep children occupied when parents are waiting. And after you sit down, he glances down at his notes again, and then there's a pause, and then he goes, whilst we were observing and caring for Wilma, we noticed various marks on her body that have forced us to contact the police with regards to her current. I mean, they're already being approached for the nature of the wound, but we get the feeling this is a more complicated matter than a simple attempted murder. Is there anything you can tell us that can help her in the investigation when we bring it forwards?
I don't know. I don't know that much. I thought something might have been going on. She broke up with this guy a little while ago. I mean, I asked her to. He didn't. I don't know. I was very uncomfortable when we were around him. I didn't think it would get that far. I mean, I've been trying to keep an eye on her. I asked her to talk to people about it, but I think she was worried that he would find out, that she would get in worse trouble.
What's the name of this boyfriend?
I don't know. Like I say, I'm a friend from uni, but we're not that close. I just heard what happened, and I know she hasn't got much in the way of family, and I wanted her to know someone was around. And I asked her to talk to people about it, but I think she was frightened. I was getting somewhere. I was going to get to like talk to like a counselling rather than the police, just someone who could, give her some encouragement. I think she was frightened about going to the police in case they didn't believe her or in case they didn't do anything. Like, this happened to a friend of mine like a while back. So they just ignored it. But I know she didn't want people to find out that she was in a difficult spot because she was frightened, and she just wanted to keep it all kind of confidential. But I was getting somewhere with everything, and I'm worried now after what happened tonight. I wasn't even there. I don't even know what happened. I'm worried that after tonight she just won't even talk about it again.
The individual that dropped her off.
Mm-hmm.
The individual that dropped her off. Do you know who it was? How would you contact it?
Oh, someone I vaguely knew told me that there had been something going on I lived not far from here. They told me that something had happened at the McDonald's, that they saw Will, and I wanted to find out. I needed to know what happened. Manipulation
plus subterfuge. This will be a contested check.
Yeah. Why is it never charisma? I was acting and everything.
Because you were lying.
That's 3 successes.
Yeah, okay. I will allow you to say how many dice different is it between manipulation and charisma?
One. There's next one more die.
Roll
charisma.
one more.
Okay.
Because you weren't necessarily
4 successes.
Okay. All right. You tie with him. It's clear that there's a moment where he's curious as to. You seem awfully worried and you're waiting for a while for someone that you don't really know. And you were quick to respond for someone you don't really know. But there is a sincerity about what you're saying. Obviously the connection that you have with Will begins shining through. And that more than anything else seems to win him over. And you can kind of guess when that happens during his assessment of you because he stops making notes and just listens. And after a while he just holds his clipboard to him and just... We will do everything we can to ensure that she is okay. The best thing you can do for her now is go home and get some rest. If there's any updates, if you want to leave your details with the reception, they will get in contact. If you can, find out for us who it was that dropped her off. If this is an individual which is involved in some way with what happened to her, it will be of great benefit for the police to find out. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, go home, get some rest. She's not in a fit state for you to go and see her now.
Okay.
But we will be in contact when she is. Okay?
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And turns around, opens the door and steps out, leaving you alone in this brightly lit yet frighteningly cold room. And you can hear the sounds of the hospital going on around you. You can hear people moving back and forth. You can hear... sounds going over the tannoys. You can hear the sounds of machines going off around you. And you don't know whether or not it is a sharp attunement of your senses or whether or not you are just grasping, but you could almost swear you can hear the breathing of Will somewhere in the hospital. It's impossible for you to pick her out over the sheer numbers of sounds. You're pretty damn certain she's not immediately close to you. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but there's a part of your mind which is reminding you of her breathing and reminding you of how rasping it must be due to the nature of her injuries, even though you've not yet seen her, based upon what Moses has told you and what the doctor has just filled you in on. What are you doing?
I'm going to still myself, and all these kind of sounds and noises and kind of activity that I might not be able to see, but I can tell is going on around me, is just going to remind me that somewhere like this, especially an intensive care ward, is probably about one of the most difficult places to get someone out of or to break into. So if anything, she's safer here to some extent than she could be anywhere else. So I'm going to leave my mobile number with the front desk, just in case there are any updates. And then I head out and look around for Will's car.
Okay. You've gone back, and as you step outside of the hospital, it's quite easy for you to identify Will's car. And there's a briefest of moments where you think she should be sat inside there, and you're expecting to see Will there, waiting for you, quite eagerly looking for you and seeing your approach and almost leaning over to preemptively open the door, but it's not. The individual that sat in the front is Moses. And behind him, cast in shadow from where it is, the car is nestled just out of immediate sight, but somewhere so that someone could spy it if they were looking for it, is Jim, sat in the back, glancing over towards the hospital. And they're both just watching. In the moment they see you, there's a slight animation suggesting that they've seen you, and you begin making your approach.
I will take the shotgun seat then.
Okay.
Start driving to my house. How is she?
She's stable.
Good. Something at least.
We need to discuss what comes next.
That we do.
I know you mentioned something about Plucky Jake, and that's one avenue. I have another potential route we can take. I suggest we consider all the options before we commit to some form of plan.
It will.
I had to go back to the Haven
Yes.
to make sure nothing compromising would be found. So in the glove compartment you will find the toy you had in your bed.
Thank you.
This will take more than a night to heal.
Yeah.
I don't suggest we go chasing.
No.
No. Tonight
As much as I would love
we should
to.
hole up.
I want to speak to someone tonight.
To whom?
Well, you suggested in this circumstance it's not worth doing these things alone, and I agree. We have to branch out somewhat. You suggested going to your people for, obviously, it would be a matter of a boon to enlist their help.
More than one. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have another suggestion that might incur less of a payment in turn. As you no doubt noticed when we were first introduced to the people, kindred of the city, my clan is currently lacking in a primogen. Now, there is a member of my clan currently vying for that position who I would quite like to take it.
Please don't tell me it's your sire.
It is not my sire.
Okay. Because according to what I've heard, he doesn't sound like a nice guy.
I would not support my sire's chasing of the position. In any case, this individual might be, well, as you may have known, I'm not sure how far back your awareness of events of this city go. My clan found favour some time ago for rooting out the Sabbat in this city. It might tip the scales a little more in this person's favour were they to be seen assisting rounding up the last few thin bloods and the very last reminders of Tyler Adams' presence. Now, we know they are interested in our domain. We apparently are their targets of vengeance.
I think the target more seems to be me, because it was my fucking room.
Well, I
twice.
received a message saying next time, so clearly they're up for a round two.
They are.
In a couple of days, I'll fucking give them a round.
They're just out for vengeance for Tyler.
Exactly, so...
But I believe the initial approach of them was just sheer unluck. They approached us probably because they thought we were approachable. And that was...
Foolishness. In any case, this person might be interested in lending a hand for less of an asking price if, like I say, there was something in it for them. It might help their bidding for Primogen, and I can assure you that were this person to take that position, it would be useful to have a ally, let's say, on the Primogen Council.
Yeah, that's the truth. In which case, We'll have another conversation, but let's wait till we get back to wherever the hell we're going first.
So where are you meeting this person?
I would go to the Chantry to meet with them. Obviously, this is something I would have to do on my own.
Oh, of course. So should I turn left for the Chantry here? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is the Chantry?
Just drop me off near Victoria Station. I'll make my way from there.
Okay, do you know do you have a place to go after that, or are you still staying with me and Jim and Mike?
Probably best if we all coop up together, because with this healing, things could go nasty and it could be in need of quite a bit of blood.
All right. Put it this way: I will go to Chantry. Depending on how a meeting of that nature goes, I will probably return to you two and help if I can. I might need to stay. I'm honestly, it's been a couple of days since I've been there. There've been a lot of developments. I'm trying to keep my position favourable for the good of all of us. And I will let you know if we can get any assistance. But...
This is my address.
Right.
Get a cab. Give her like, I don't know,
Right.
50 pounds, 60 pounds, like enough for her to
That's
like,
enough to get to
like,
Victoria.
from wherever she is to my place on a cab.
Yeah, it's enough for you to go to the two places you need to go. And as he pulls up and drops you, you all share a parting glance. Say, Benjamin, who's still hard at work. And then the doors shut and you watch as Will's car goes off into the distance, takes the corner and goes. And then turning your coat up against the bitter cold of the January weather, you turn down into the station and move off. And that's where we're going to take a break for now. So we are running a little longer before we took the break this time, but I apologise, it was too interesting to stop.
Many messes to clean.
Yes, so we will stop now for 10 minutes?
Probably about 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10-minute break, guys, and then we'll be right back. So, see you then.
Okay. Do we want to start with the relationship map?
Well, do you want to
or-
shout out?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a shout out. Was there one more as well?
I was thinking about the shout out to the fan art, actually.
Oh yes, yeah, you did that one.
So last week there was so to Derek, or I think it's Dance Macabre on
Dance
Twitter,
Macabre,
did some fan art, which I'm particularly excited about because it was fan art of Benjamin's art, which is like nice and meta.
Artception.
Yes, Artception. I like it. So thank you very much for that. That made us all very happy, and that's been shared, I think, on various social media places.
That's amazing, really. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very cool.
He made it
It's
like
nice that it's,
in half an hour.
it's not,
Yeah,
just,
and it was-
not
yeah.
just me now.
Yeah.
So thanks.
In related to that, another fan has given us a gift. I haven't seen this gift myself, but it is for one of these lovely people that are along to my left. And honestly, I think the term would be is, would you like your beanie back?
Oh my god!
Wow, we should do this every week.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh wow!
It's a Moses Binny!
The actual.
Oh yes!
I have not seen this. I was like, I want to see this.
Thank
But I
you
wanna see it- I
very
see it-
much.
Oh.
Thank you very much. There is a
Mysterious
note.
gift giver.
Foggy is still with you when you venture out.
Oh,
Lovely gift. Thank
so
you,
cute.
thank you very
Oh my
much.
God.
super.
Oh my god, I'm so happy that I finally have it.
Oh my god.
See?
Amazing.
Now
Okay,
whenever
I
you
kn-
was like, cover your ears.
I know you'll be watching this in time, and that's freaking amazing. And I
amazing.
congratulate you again.
Thank you
Oh my
very
God.
much.
Very much.
That's incredible.
Nice.
Oh, and to Malob, using the hashtag Malob, we have someone from Manchester now, and someone not using the hashtag Malob, but I mean, he's a cousin of mine. So, thanks for watching from Maracaibo in Venezuela. So that's two new places for Malob. Make sure to let us know where you're watching us from, and the list keeps on growing.
Nice.
Thank you.
I have a brief shout out I'd like to give for the Scraticus Academy Twitch channel because they've been hosting me I'm playing in one of their games at the moment, and they're really cool. They let me do a shout out for Blood on the Thames at the end of each episode. So thank you guys so much for having me on the show, and it's the most fun ever. You guys should check them out. They stream like almost every day, and I roll dice with them on Tuesdays, and you should definitely check them out. They're really good fun.
Do it.
And cool. Shall we do the
Yeah,
relationship
let's do it.
map?
Let's do it.
Relationship map time.
I don't think it's changed.
Like, I'm not in character, but I am enjoying this so much.
Oh man, it's amazing.
So cool.
Okie dokie.
So the main, I guess, addition is over here near Moses. We have McBeefy Thinblood, who is
My
the.
Biffy theme blood, I like that.
We don't know his name yet, but
You
he's
should have called him the Big Daddy.
We should have possibly. But anyway, the thin blood with the kind of irregular cornrows who
And bite marks on his arm.
who's now who Moses bit last session is now on the board as well.
He
and I
tastes funny.
think that
I don't
might
think anything
be
else has really changed.
it. So I think that is it for that board. However, what I can do, if I can go that
Which
way.
Higher.
Okay,
There we go.
there we go.
So on the board of the dead, over here.
Oh, we have a curly,
We
whirly,
have crispy thin blood.
crispy thing.
Who was the kind of athletic one. And she, the interesting thing about her is she was
herself.
well, we were thinking that she killed herself, but although our characters aren't wise to this, those of you who paid close attention in the stream will know that when Katia saw her, she was going to basically set fire to the room and leap out the window. But a mysterious force closed both the window and the door, trapping her in as the flames rose. So we currently suspect she was killed by our neighbourhood ghost. Yeah.
I told you he was dangerous.
Yeah.
No, he's on our side.
So the first, and I suspect not the last thing to be killed by the ghost in the session, in the game. So.
Right. Let's have the other one back.
Oh yeah. Flying board.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So before we chat about some more rules and stuff, is Callum with us? Is the ghoul with us? No, the ghoul's out of it.
I think the ghoul is only with us in body, but not in mind. So,
He's busy on the.
he's in another world.
He's looking after the chat with all you lovely people,
Yeah,
but he
thank you so
cannot
much.
hear us. Anyway, so we'll just carry on what we're planning to carry on with. We realise we've gone into a lot of cool specific rules, especially new V5 additions to Vampire the Masquerade, but we haven't actually gone with the basics and talked about the actual dice system, because obviously I think most of us are familiar with a D20 system. That's just, the most common one that people get into. And obviously VTM and most of the World of Darkness games are very different. So we thought we'd have a quick talk about how the D10 pool system works.
So each character has 3 sets of 3 stats. So they have a physical set of stats, they have a mental set of stats, and they have a social set of stats, and they also have a myriad of skills as well. And whenever a character tries to do something in this game, the ST will ask them to make a check. Normally, but not always, using 1 stat and 1 skill if you have that skill. And then each dot you have in that stat or that skill allows you to roll 1d10, and you roll your d10, and then you find out if you succeed or fail. Now, those of you who are familiar with V20, like old Vampire, there's a couple of key differences here. So in many ways, V5 is a lot more straightforward. So when I roll my d10s, if I get a 6 or above, it is a success, 1 success. And if I get below, it is a fail. And obviously Hunger Dice are a separate kettle of fish. In old Vampire, you used to get assigned difficulties. So easy tasks would have a low number to get over and higher tasks would have a higher number to get over. But in V5, it's a static difficulty. It's always 6 or above.
6 is always the number to beat, but the difficulty, rather than being the number to beat, is the number of successes you have to have.
Yeah.
Since it's every time that you're rolling a 6 or higher, then you are roughly having 60% chance in each die, a 50% chance in each die of having a success. Now, there's a funny thing about rolling a 10 when you roll multiples.
Yeah, so normally 6 to 10 is a success. A 10 is also just a single success. But if you get 2 10s together, it's what's called a critical win. So it counts as the equivalent of 4 successes and comes with its own fanfare and normally kind of awesome successes and things like that as well. An interesting difference as well is in old Vampire, normally if something was ludicrously difficult, you might only get 1 dice to roll, and if you got a 10, you succeed. Kind of there was always a shot at it. Whereas in V5, it's possible to have tasks that your character cannot do. So if your character has low stats and no skills in an area, they might only be rolling a dice or 2, and if the difficulty is 3 or above, they just can't do it, unless they get a critical win, and even potentially then, they may not be able to if the difficulty is higher. So that is I think, a flavour difference.
A very quick rundown. And is there anything else we want to talk about given that? Or are we ready to...
We got a question from the chat.
Really lovely.
Chat question.
Tell us.
Basically, Shadow Gamer 264 has asked and for any tips on how to build a gangrel character.
Hey! Wow.
Basically, like asking for tips
Make
on
them fireproof.
how to spend points around
basically,
protein and animalism. So.
Don't bite people's skulls. Don't run into fire. Don't give out firearms.
Basically, anything that Jim does is...
Because your gangrel is going to be your physical character, so for your attributes,
Unless you're high animalism.
True. But most of the time, physical stats are going to be your priority. However, because if you're going down the animalism line, I believe it's charisma or manipulation.
Social, sorry, and manipulation and things like that.
Which you can end up. I believe the high level abilities allow you to maybe control multitudes of rats, for example. So other.
I think
with rats, the other disciplines they get would be fortitude and protean. So fortitude is how tough you are, which is why health point wise, I got 9 health points. The rest of these I think have 5. So
I nearly had 4.
Yeah, so that makes the gangrel considerably tougher.
now.
But the protean gives different abilities. So one which you see with that Jim's used is his feral weapons. Allowing him to sprout claws, so he doesn't need to carry a knife. He fucking is a knife.
Yeah, it's worth noting that most superficial damage that is suffered by vampiric characters is halved, rounded up.
Yes.
Yeah. And the benefit of the claws in this one, they don't immediately do aggravated damage to vampires, but they do +2, I believe.
I believe it's
+2 and damage
and
+2 additional
halved.
damage, and the superficial damage is not halved. So whilst it doesn't mean like instant killed within a hit, it means it is a hell of a lot likely to take a vampire down than...
Yeah, it's going to cause a lot more damage.
The clan gangrel. I mean, if you want to play a gangrel, make sure that you're looking to play someone who was most likely in life before being embraced, an outcast, either because society pushed him away, or family, or whomever, or he himself just decided to go hermit style and sequester himself from others. Gangrels tend to be survivors.
Yeah.
Most of them are very physical or very capable in that regard, because that is necessity. But others are insanely great, insanely adept at surviving by using their cunning and their wits.
Yep.
They don't need to be animalistic, but they can control animals. They don't have to be brawny. They can just be willful. But that's what sets them apart. They are very strong, because fortitude also can be used now to resist mental assaults.
Yes.
So it's not only fortitude of body, that you can have the fortitude of mind.
Yeah.
And that's the big change in this one, in that different levels of a discipline allow you to choose certain powers, so you don't have to go down the exact same power route as everybody else that has Fortitude 3.
The other things mentioned about gangrel and animalism is not just controlling animals, but gangrel are also in touch with that bestial part of their nature, and animalism allows them to gain some measure of control over the beast as well, which can be a nice way to go.
However, you want to be aware of your clan bane, which I believe for every frenzy you come out of, you take a temporary animalistic
feature, which I believe is, if I remember rightly, it could be a personality trait, which would then you then have to roleplay, or it could be a physical thing.
But it
so
does take
it
down
says-
one of your stats.
Yeah.
This is you
Quote.
gain one or more animal features as a result of the frenzy, whether it's a physical trait, a smell, or a behavioural tick. They last for one more night afterwards, and they reduce one attribute by 1 point. And the storyteller can decide, whether it's like a forked tongue, bear-like musk, or something like that, which dictates what kind of attribute is reduced. The number of features a gangrel manifests when they frenzy is equal to their bane severity. So, and remember that each feature is a -1 penalty to an attribute. So
to answer your question, how do I create a gangrel character? If you want to create a gangrel, you're probably wanting to create one of these isolated or very aloof survivors, people who are tough because of necessity and circumstances, who were embraced because they have that something else that gangrels look for in mortals, and then choose whether or not that makes you a physical character, a mix of things, a jack of all trades. I believe it's always easier creating a vampire when you think who you were in life.
Definitely.
And then once you have that, a normal person with or without studies or a career or whatever, as a sort of a skill set, then you apply the vampirism-ish.
And the last thing, however, to bear in mind is remembering that Vampire Masquerade is a tabletop social game you are playing. So if you are playing a character that's a real lone wolf, that's not going to fit into a coterie quite as well as other archetypes. So you can play obviously the lone wolf survivor, but you have to think, how is this going to affect my fellow players? Is everyone going to enjoy the game if I'm constantly not wanting to do stuff with the group? You also you have to think about what kind of game are we playing, and are all my players going to be cool with this?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully that all helps. Of course, as I picked this this gang goes. This is the first time I've ever played, so I was looking going, this looks fun. Let's give it a go. And I'm with people who've played this for God knows how many years between. So as I said, just go with it and explore. Of course, my character might die. We all might die, but again, it's the fun of the game.
He's gonna.
It is the fun of the game, ultimately.
Nice.
Of course, ultimately, I'm probably going to die first.
So, is there anything else you guys want to cover before we...
Any other questions from the chat? Thanks for the question, though.
Yes, thank you. I hope that
thank
helps.
you.
And
Cool.
questions.
I feel loved. Question directed for me.
Cool. Are we ready to jump back in?
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
There's still things to set on fire. Let's get going.
No more
Oh,
fires.
Jim, I hope. Please, not Jim. Not
Yet.
again. Yeah.
We all back?
Okay, we're good.
Cool. So, bringing it back in. You continue with your artwork. It's... The minutes, in a stark contrast to how Katya's night's going, are flying by. And every time you check the clock, it's an uncomfortable leap in minutes that you believed, shouldn't be passing that long.
Yeah.
I mean... And it adds a speed and a nervousness to your work. And every time you think you've got it, you glance at your piece, and then you spy something that's wrong. But then you glance at the clock, and then oh shit, you run out of more time. And it's furious and it's frantic, but you manage to stop yourself from just overdoing it. And then before about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, it's you are finally able to force yourself to take a step back and just look at it. And you've managed to maintain the minimalist approach, and it looks like Katya, but you could argue it's not Katya. It's that thin line between the two that you're happy with.
Good.
And the brushwork, yes. Colours, yes, it's intriguing. There's the pain there. It looks true. There's that figure, but you try and ignore that, and you look over everything else, and then you look again at the time. If you are going to give an answer,
well, I need to speak to
it
Edmund.
needs to be now, or you've still got about 3 hours left.
Okay, so do I think that it will be dangerous to move the painting if the paint is still in this current state?
Not if you go slow.
If I think there's any risk, I'll call Edmund and ask him to come to me. If otherwise, I'll take it. Otherwise, I'll take the painting. I can't risk the painting.
Okay.
So if I think I can do it safely, I'll take the painting.
You probably don't want to risk it.
Okay,
I will
so you phone the gallery.
The phone begins ringing for a while, and then after a few minutes, somebody answers, and it's a female voice, but it's not the same female voice.
Poor girl.
What a great sire you have.
He's a wonderful man. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, it's Benjamin Green here. I was wondering if Edmund Sinclair was there.
I'm afraid he's indisposed at this moment. Is there something that I can?
Yes, I need to speak with him urgently. Urgently. If you tell him that it's Benjamin and I need to speak with him now and it is done, and I need him to come and see it, he will know what I mean. It's most urgent. Extremely urgent.
What was the name again? Sorry.
Benjamin Green.
Benjamin Green. I will pass that along if you'll hold on for a minute.
Yes, I'll hold. Yes, of course.
Benjamin.
Hello? Is it Edmund?
Benjamin.
Yes.
Is it finished?
I just finished it now. But yeah, it's the paint is still wet, but I need you to come and see it. I'll explain everything, but it has to be now. Time is of the essence. I have to talk to you tonight.
Where are you?
I'm at my flat.
I will be there within the hour.
It's November, right? So I've got a couple of hours till dawn, right?
By the time he gets there, you've probably got about 2.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it doesn't talk for 2 hours, you're right.
It's an uncomfortably long wait, almost as long as the painting process was quick. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and as you're glancing towards the clock, it's been about 40 minutes or so, and then at the door.
I'll rush and open the door.
Edmund is there, his hair tied back, and he has a long coat, and he's just looking at the door frame, almost as though he's listening. The moment you look for Benjamin.
Edmund, I have to speak to you. Come in, please, come in.
And he moves through, and where is your painting?
I probably haven't moved it from where I was painting it.
Okay, so it's out in the open.
I would have thought so.
Okay, so he moves in, and then he just looks at it as you close the door, and he approaches it and just observes. There's a moment where you think he's going to touch it, and then there's a part of you that's like, you don't say anything, and then just when he's uncomfortably close, he just stops, and then so very lifelike.
I have to talk to you about. It's very important, and it's quite urgent, and I need your guidance, Edmund.
You can talk. He doesn't look at you.
No.
You can talk to me about anything, Benjamin.
So I want to explain to you a situation, and then I'm going to suggest what I think might be a solution, but I won't do anything without your permission and your guidance, because this is beyond me, Edmund, to be honest. So the thing is, do you remember last night I was called by Michael Chase, and he lied to you, and everything got very bad? Well, I never really explained why he called me, and
he half turns back towards you and glances at you over the shoulder. He's very still, but there's no expression on his face.
He said that he said a lot of things, but the things that are important that I remember is he said he knew our secret, and but that he wasn't going to tell anyone, and then he made this offer to me, and he hinted that if I didn't take it, it'd be very bad, and I was in a terrible panic, and so I wanted to talk to you and see what you thought, what your guidance would be about this, about what to do. So the offer, that what he wants is he wants me to make a deal with him where he will get the first right of refusal on my art for the next 10 years. Now, bear with me. I haven't said anything. I haven't accepted this offer. It's just what he's put up. And he said I have to give him an answer by the end of this night. And he hinted that if I said no, it would be very bad. And so, shall I carry on?
He looks again at the piece.
Oh no, this won't count. I've painted this before. This is. You see, what I thought was my idea was that I would paint this now because you wanted something for the Primogen, and I thought this could be the piece. You said you wanted to show the Primogen, yes? And then, it's up to you whether I take this agreement or not. But I wondered if it might be if there might be some way to work this to our advantage.
Make a charisma plus persuasion check.
Oh god.
Everyone has made that now, apart from me.
Okay.
I haven't.
That's true. You don't tend to find
My
yourself
strong
in those
suit, eh?
No, I don't. Oh god.
2 successes.
Success on 2.
Oh.
It's all I can do, really, honestly.
You only have 2
How are
dice.
you not
Yeah.
charismatic?
Because I'm a sort of bumbling fool, you know.
Did you paint this for Michael Chase?
This was for you, Edmund. That's all I've done since I last saw you, was I created this for you. For you.
Do you recall why? Do you recall how we met, Benjamin?
Well, yes, I recall the wonderful news I got when my painting had been bought, and then I believe I think I asked for the name, and then
Your
yes,
paintings.
yes.
And do you recall what I did for you?
Of course, that's
No one knew you until
no,
I...
no, of course.
And then I gave you this gift, and we have immortalized your work, and
Yes, but-
now...
No, I'm not saying I'm going to look, Edmund. I will do whatever you want me to do. Whatever. If you tell
You
me.
realise that if Michael Chase has the first call on your paintings, he will buy them even if he does not like them, to spite me.
Well, if the thing, I can say no to him if that's what you want. I'm just afraid.
Would you?
Would I say no to him?
Would you?
If that's what you want, Edmund, I'm just afraid of what he will do. That's all. What he will do to me. And I that's why I've come to you for your guidance. If I can, I'm sorry. I don't want to upset you. If you want me to say no, of course I will say no. But I was wondering if there was some. I mean, if you had some clever way that we could work through this, we could make Michael think he's got one over on us, but actually, you know, get something over on him.
I will make one more check.
Me
Yeah.
or you?
You.
Yeah.
With, since this is now against his difficulty, you will get the equivalent of 2 dice bonus.
Okay. So
If you succeed, I will discount the roll I've just done.
oh Christ.
Oh god.
Okay, so essentially I'm rolling with my normal hunger, but my charisma plus 2 dice, yeah?
Yeah, you get 2 bonus dice on top. Remember, you have to have the number of dice equal to your hunger.
Oh yeah, I've got
regardless
those
of
in.
where
Yeah,
these-
I've got them in the pool. Yeah. Okay. 2, 6. Oh, actually, I could. I'll spend a willpower. You never know. 3 successes. I don't know if that's enough, but I'll see. Oh, yeah,
There
I've
is
got
a
those.
long, uncomfortable moment. And where he was staring at the art, he is now staring at you. And
Okay.
you have never, ever been subject to such an intense stare. And there is a long moment, where you believe that he is about to go and tear your throat out.
Oh.
But as he approaches, he takes a step and then he stops. How?
How would we? Trick him, you mean?
Yes.
Well, I mean, obviously, it depends on what you think, but I was wondering if you could guide me, that when I did the work, there would be things in the paintings that we would know were that actually might be showing how much, I don't know, that your knowledge might, I could put things in the painting and Michael might well buy it and show it in his galleries, but you might know actually how it's really saying something about him, or really, and that you would be laughing, you know, or I don't know, Edmund. Well, you tell me. You guide me. I will do whatever you ask.
I want you to say no.
Then I'll say no. Of course I will. For you, Edmund, I'll do anything.
And he moves over and he clasps you by the face, and it's again that uncomfortably vice-like grip.
Yeah.
And he looks you in the eye. You are mine.
Yes.
Everything you are is mine.
Yeah. Yes.
And Michael Chase isn't taking that from me.
No.
This piece, I like it. It's...
Yeah.
The Primogen will like it.
Oh, good. Good, I'm so glad.
I don't know if Michael Chase will, but this is where we will begin laughing, because the Primogen will love this.
Yes.
And he's not popular on the Primogen. He's not popular at all.
Well,
This must be taken straight to the gallery.
yes. Do you know the best way to send a message to Mr. Chase to tell him no? He didn't leave me a
The phone call works quite well with Primogen.
Yeah, yes. I don't have the his number. That's all. I wondered if you might know a number to call. I'm just aware of the time. To tell him no. That's all.
Oh. Tell him tomorrow.
Well, no. I really have to. I think I have to tell him tonight. He seemed. I don't want to. I can tell him tomorrow if you want.
Let's make him wait as he made me wait.
Oh yes, I see. Yes, yes. That will. I think that will definitely make him angry. Yes.
Oh, it will make him furious.
Yes. Yes. Quite.
Bring this painting down to the car. I want to take it straight back to the gallery.
Of course. I'll take him.
Ooh. And he stops you, and then he grips the painting, and he just looks and goes, "There's the truth."
Yes, it's only the truth.
If only I'd seen the real thing. Anyway, to the car. And he moves on.
Yeah, okay.
He's gonna be mad, furious at you.
We're all fucked because of that now.
And you continue to... If you want to disobey, you can make the check against the blood bond.
No.
Okay.
I don't think he would want to disobey.
No. Okay.
Not given the response that he got. I think you know when you're weighing up like which is worse.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, you know, there are years possibly before Michael destroys me, but this is very emergency.
There's considerable
now.
there's considerable weight to this painting now, more so than physically, as you carry it, and it makes it more difficult, even though you are rapidly running out of time, and you can feel that uncomfortableness, and you can tell he does as well, just because of the way that he quickly walks and then all of a sudden stops and turns and admires the picture again, and you're forced to hold it for him on display. And then he waves you on as though you're holding him up, and then just moves back down to the car, and it's placed with a reverence in the back. And then as he moves around to the car, there is already someone waiting to drive, and they look very, very sunken under the eyes. They look very tired. But the moment that he comes, they perk up and just... but he pays them no mind. He just goes straight in and sits down next to the picture and just picks it up and just holds it and just looks at it. And then he pays you absolutely no mind as the car just begins taking off.
All right, I'll dash back to my flat and if I find a good place to sleep.
Okay.
Because it's quite late.
The floor is At this point, you are probably approaching about four, coming up towards 5. So you've got about an hour or so, if you wanted to somehow try and ring around and call Michael.
Well, the thing is that he's told me to make him wait.
You can always make the check if you want to.
But I don't. The thing is,
it's entirely your call.
No, I don't think he's going to resist.
Okay.
So no, I think he'll sleep.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Fuck you guys.
I'm sorry. I just don't think he would. I don't think he's going to disobey.
Well, I'm not the one who owes boons right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might soon though.
Man.
Okay.
This looks like another mess that I'm gonna have to clean up.
I think this might be really just so great, actually.
I will say those ears make you look adorable.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim, Katia, and Moses. Well, not Katia, sorry. You've gone off. You two begin making your way back towards your penthouse. And if you want to describe a quick one for him, what kind of environment he's walking into when you get back to
Jim's
yours?
never been there.
You've never been to my flat?
Nope.
No.
Jim's never been there.
No one knows.
Right.
We didn't go back there on the first night.
After the it's a condo in a sort of a normal, good area, not like super well off. It's a nice one. It's comfortable, but it lacks a lot of furniture right now. Most of it's like packed or against the walls and everything as he's been moving out. It's very Spartan at the moment. It's very safe. It has like we go on a lift all the way to the floor, and the moment the lift opens the door, that's the door to the house. So you have to use a special key in it. No hallways, no nothing. And you see that Moses starts flaring into life old like security systems that have been unplugged or disconnected since he's not living here anymore.
Basically, not any type of place that you've ever stepped into, and a place that, according to your sire, Nosferatu, you just don't live in. Nothing shy of a Ventru would ever normally live in this kind of place.
You live here?
Yeah.
It's a nice place. Not what I expected. Why?
Well, he's popular with the ladies, if you want to know. I'm joking.
Not. Yeah.
I just walk reluctantly to one of the rooms and start making preparations for him, Katya, and myself. So at least we, go comatose at dawn in a comfortable place.
Moses?
Okay.
Yeah.
As Moses doing that, going, Moses?
Oh yeah, I give him some cloth for his to bandage his wound.
As he starts doing the bandage again.
It is painful.
Fucking painful, yeah.
And as you wrap it, you try and you've not done it correctly, and as you put it back, flesh comes away with the bandage as it suckers to it, leaving raw and even more painful exposed meat underneath. But you tighten it, gritting through your teeth, your fangs involuntary pop out as you until your arm is bound to the point where there would be no blood circulation if you were living. It's very difficult to move your wrist, but it's sufficient for what you need.
And just as I finished doing that, Moses, with regards to this, and with regards to what I think
Turn on one computer.
This is basically going to mean war for us against them.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think we're gonna be
in a fight.
In several, because it's,
so with that, you'll need immediately point for that.
I am not quite sure of that.
In the event,
unless you want me to point you in the direction I think they are.
That would be useful, but also
there is a term, military intelligence, I think they call it. It's less military and more intelligent. First, let's find out who they are. I need to know the name of that guy. Also, send a text to Katya. It's like, can you please send me Will's number?
Also, what?
I think.
I sent him back the number.
Do I get a reply immediately or?
I would reply. I'm probably still on public transport at the moment or walking. So
You're not far away from the Chantry at this point.
So what we need to find out are who these people are, how to best reset and re-establish all of the security we had for the domain, and then install some for the haven. So we would have to now hold up, make them think that they got us.
Yeah.
We're probably most likely gonna have to spend a couple of nights away from the haven,
Hold on, I'm going to fucking do that anyway.
Exactly. So let's do that.
We'll do that, and
then when I find one, I'll give you his address.
Yeah,
That's it. That's the way I think we're gonna be working with it.
It's going to be a way of working with it, but also they need some intelligence on the ground, and you're good at hacking into things, worked out. So it might be useful to have you maybe within close by, able to get close, and in which case, if it gets into a fight, I need to know what you can do.
Well, I can bite someone's arm off.
Yeah. As
Or
I'm
a
sure
big
you,
part of it. The guy was big, hunky.
yeah. I
like
know.
beefy.
I know you can make yourself unseen, but what else can you do? Are you just sneaky, or do you have anything that can fight, or what else can you do?
I can fight. All Nosferatus can fight.
Of course. I'm not down about it. Just saying, what can you do? What capability? And you see me pull on my claws. What can you do?
I can hit very hard, but not that hard. I compare myself with Alice, which is unfair. For a girl, she's like really strong.
Yeah, she's a brouillard. They're naturally powerful.
No. You're not getting it. Like, she is like, for a little girl, like she is like 5'2", 5'5". She's a little, well, but not young, and she's insanely strong. And also, she's a brouillard.
Yeah.
She's always been weirdly strong for her frame. Her frame doesn't make sense at all.
Yep.
Like, she's really strong just because.
Yeah. As any just because that you've got?
Nah.
No. So all you're capable of is maybe throwing a straight punch and then turning invisible, getting the fuck out of there.
Nah.
Give me a little more to work on, because if you want me to protect your ass, if you need protecting, you know what you can do.
I told you I know how to protect myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather
If we're
have you
against 5
taking
or 6
care
of them?
of Katia and Benjamin.
Yep.
I don't see them fighting that much. I mean,
No.
Katya got crowbarred.
I'm aware of that, but I'm also aware I think there are 4 or 5 of them there.
Ben just ran.
Ben just ran, yeah.
So, yeah, I think they might need a little bit more taken care of. I'm not like super self-sufficient in a fight against other very physical kindred. That's why I don't hang around with Alice's friends. Because there's a guy that, I mean, for a guy, he's insanely weak. And for a Bruya, he's like really weak.
Does that mean he's fucking fast?
Actually, yes.
Exactly.
He's freaking insanely fast.
Exactly. I've got a little bit of speed, but then again, what? Yeah. So basically, in a combat situation, you'll be, if it turns out you'll be getting the fuck out of there. Leave me to it.
Depends. It's okay. You don't have to worry about me.
Well, in the
You do
perspective,
ask a lot of questions for a gangrel, but you refuse to answer questions, and then you seem a little bit pissed off when a Nosferatu does not want to work with your line of questioning.
now what would you like me to answer them? What
Yeah.
question do you have for me?
Tell me everything about Alicia, because that is the reason we're in this war. You lost it when Tyler Adams mentioned her.
The reason I was losing it is because he is with us, and frankly, our position with...
You're not answering, you're dodging. Who is Alicia and what is the deal with her?
I'm here to try and find her. I don't know where she is. Frankly, arrogant little fucker like that, I don't think he actually had the fucking information.
Tolerance was a venture with a lot of resources and close proximity to the council. I would dare to say he had some proximity to the prince, given how pissed off the prince was of him being harboring thin bloods. He also has, let's call it, enough gravitas to pull suicidal thin bloods to self-immolate and start a barbecue in your room.
I don't think they self-immolated. I don't think she self-immolated.
Cool. Still, we have them stabbing ghouls, cutting our security. They are not a bunch happy group of friends led by a madman who knew the right name. He seemed to know who Alicia was, and he seemed to have information, and yet you threw that away. You let something get the best of you.
All right, I fucked up. Is that what you want to know?
Well, I already knew that. I want to know why. Because if he could have helped finding Alicia, then you threw your chance. And with it, us in the fire. Now, I need to understand why. Because even though you are a more than capable combatant, that does not mean that I'm gonna trust you in a time of need not to react the same way again. So I just need to understand why.
Well, it was less the information, more the initial danger. Of course, from what my understanding of Blood Hunt is, if you don't enact on it, if you try and let them out, that's basically going against them. And frankly, I'm fucking terrified of the constable. You saw what she did.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I do not want that against me. I'm tough, yeah. But she'd do the same to me even quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
It's this thing of which is worse.
Got it. And yeah, I have my own way of thinking about that, but I do understand why you wouldn't think about it the same. I wouldn't have thought of striking a deal, making it disappear, tell the constable that Benjamin is as crazy as a Malkev can be.
As soon as Tyler said that the constable was on her way, one option.
Got it.
So sorry, but
That actually makes sense.
yeah,
More sense than you just snapping at the drop of a name. Because if that were the case, you would be a liability in this.
Survival. That's the thing.
Cool. You get the medium room.
Yes,
It's a nice one. Also, I sent a text. Remember how I said I would turn everything you like to ash? Send. I found out a better way to make myself happy. Send. Me and my clan have thought of something so fun, it'll bring us joy for ages. Send. You and your buddies better keep an eye over your shoulders. And little kiss. Send.
What are you doing there?
And then, break the burner.
What are you doing there? What break the phone?
Oh yeah, I was sending messages to Will. Get better
Will?
messages.
Yeah, Jim's definitely going to incite that one. Yeah, he does not believe that at all.
I think you need to incite that.
Don't need to. It's
Yeah.
I tell you. Will's they were messages to Will's phone. The guy that stabbed her pocketed her phone.
I see. And are you planning on tracking location of this phone?
Actually, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I pinged a lot of messages, and if he tries to send them back to that chip,
they're gonna be bouncing a little while. So I just want to see if I can triangulate where they are.
I cast one on the shoulder with the gun and go, fucking smart bastard. Right.
And I get working for the however many hours we have, from like 3 to 5 or 6 or whatever. Yeah. Try working on that, seeing if I can hack into the telecom network.
Okay, to see if he sent a response. What? Follow any response he gives.
Yes, to put a tracker for any response, which is gonna bounce and never land. So that'll give me like an initial point if I can triangulate it.
All right. It'll be intelligence plus technology.
My network's specialty.
Yep.
Excuse me.
There you go for it.
Intelligence plus technology plus my specialization. Oh, one die went out the reservation, but I think it didn't fall.
Nope, didn't fall.
Okay, that's an 8.
Okay.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice.
You do a quick check using the network and everything else, and you watch as the message is sent. There is no response that is sent in return. Okay. There's nothing.
But does the message get there, or it gets hung out? So basically,
it doesn't reach the phone.
Doesn't reach the phone, so he dropped it. That's good. That's good.
Okay. Katya, you find yourself pulling up for the Chantry and make your way immediately inside. And it takes a few moments of you wandering the premises. You see a few acolytes that have not yet, whilst the prince is obviously going to have acknowledged them, they are not considered members of the Tremere in a recognition sense. They are not promoted as members of parts of the clan. They're more there to serve the clan in a quieter capacity. Whether this is due to their own capabilities or whether it's they just haven't achieved enough yet. There is ambition in every one of these, and there's always the envious glances that you get as you go past.
Elder's got to feed.
But they are busy going about their duties. They are busy going in and out of the numerous rooms which fills a building that, on the outside, it's a large building, but within this has always been a place, and you certainly recall from your breathing days, this is a place there. The inside is not always matching the exterior. And it is, even now, years later, it is easy to become disorientated in this building. And you still swear, although no one has ever confirmed, whether or not the rooms do periodically change. There is identifiable marks in each exterior, which tells you where things are, but you have to have been there long enough to know. And you begin looking in the rooms that you know Sabine often frequents, and she's not in them. And then before long, you find yourself entering into perhaps one of the grander rooms within the Chantry. It is a open, multi-layered library filled with different items, artifacts and relics from bygone ages, filled to the brim with tomes both new, and by new I mean within the century, and older. And they are crammed everywhere. There is an ornate globe in the center of the room, which is squatted just over a large circular table. Very, very, very old. Still smells almost scented. There is certainly a smell in this room that's almost like incense that's perpetually burning, even though there is nothing burning in this room. And there are lights all over the different layers which illuminate everything. And at the heart of this room, poring over numerous books, is Sabine. And the moment that you come in, she closes the books and then just gestures for the seat opposite her.
I make my way promptly to the seat.
What was so urgent, darling?
I wanted to bring you up to date with a few things that have happened in my domain.
She pushes the books aside.
I'm sure you've heard of the fate of Tyler Adams.
We have, yes.
I thought it would have trickled through. Of course, as a consequence to that, there have been several reckless and openly made attacks against the domain by Thinbloods. They seem to be concentrating their interests and efforts on our domain specifically.
By a large quantity of Thinbloods.
3 or 4 have been witnessed. One has died in somewhat their own. Well, our haven.
I think you'd better start from the beginning.
Yes, there's rather a lot to get through. Of course, I was not present on the particular evening that Tyler Adams was executed in our haven, not just our domain.
The constable can be quite direct.
Yes, so are my coterie members, it would seem.
Well, what have we told you, Katia, about the other plans?
Well, yes, it wasn't actually who I expected, but that's irrelevant. Yes, so after this, there were a few threats made against the other members of my coterie, specifically the gangrel, who I heard did react aggressively, but I do not think was the one that made the call. In any case, this evening, my ghoul was intercepted and taken somewhat hostage, and our haven was set alight, and it burned.
Thinbloods did this?
Yes, it's quite an audacious move for them, I thought. Seemingly motivated by pure reckless vengeance, it seems they have nothing else. They believe they have nothing to lose, which I think is a bit optimistic of them. And thankfully the blaze was brought under control. No one was harmed, save the Thinblood who attempted to start the fire in the first place, who died.
A pity.
Yes, I was hoping they might have survived in our custody, but alas.
So how many would you say there's left, dear?
From what I have witnessed myself, between 2 and 4. From purely what I've witnessed, I don't know if they have compatriots who might not be as martially gifted, who they might have kept out of the fray. I know that 2 were observing the haven. One of those might have been the one that set the fire. It might not have been. And then there was one holding Will hostage. Will was almost fatally wounded, but is now stable. And
your ghoul?
Yes.
And where is she now?
She is at the hospital local to the domain, and I deflected.
It's a very dangerous place for her to be, Katya.
I know. That's why I made an effort to deflect any interest they might have had in her, and I believe it was successful, and I will be getting her out as soon as I can.
Is there any other evidence connecting you to this issue?
No, not that I'm aware of, and I've been...
So the matter is largely handled its incapacity. It's merely a case of getting your ghoul out of the hospital.
Yes. The Nosferatu, who was keeping an eye on her, was watching her interactions with the Thinblood. There was an altercation. He was the one who got her out of there. I'm hoping he didn't go too far, and if he did, he is this type to make steps to cover up anything he did. I'm hoping this is the case. But their continued interest in our haven is clearly not ended. I received a message that they were clearly intending to return, and I wondered whether it would be of any interest to you to have, any association with rounding up and ridding the city of what could be one of the last strongholds of Thinbloods, if it would at all aid in your campaign for Primogen.
Charisma plus persuasion plus a number of dice equal to your mauler.
So that's 2. Do I get my negotiation?
Yes.
Okay, so hang on. I think I get 10 dice.
Sounds like a bucket of what?
How many?
10, 2, 3,
Jeez.
4, 5.
I reckon I made it
Your
for
hidden
combat.
weapon. You've been keeping her in the wrong
You
place.
think it's blood magic? No, it's charisma. Just watch me fail.
Barely shaken.
Yeah, like compulsion ban.
Oh, I just broken.
Holy crap.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 successes.
Could have been more impressive.
And this one?
Yeah, that's counting that one, I think.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Okay. She leans back and just observes you for a long moment. I see the angle you're taking with this, Katia. I'm not blind to the reason you are approaching me. But this is also a grievous affront against the Tremere. Now, whether some people might call into question how efficiently your coterie is handling your territory, that's not my concern at this present moment. My concern is the slight against the clan and your well-being as someone of interest. I can make some inquiries. If you are able to provide me with any and all information that you have on this individual, I will make all the inquiries. I will see if I can ferret him out of his hole. And I'll even do you one better, darling. Once we catch him, you can assist.
Thank you.
While we prove to him and display for the other clans just what it means to provoke the Tremere. Will that be sufficient, darling?
Sabine, you always tell me exactly what I want to hear.
I will stress, Katia. Your coterie, from the sounds of it, is causing considerable stress on you. Now, whilst I freely give my sympathies, my time, as you can understand, is strained at the moment. You can imagine your sire is not making this the most easiest of occasions. There, I cannot promise that I will always be able to assist you. I will always endeavour to do my best. I have not been shy about expressing my view that you are a right step forward for the clan. Even if your sire no longer believes it. Or, I believe he no longer believes it. If he does, it's a strange way that he has of showing it. But your clansmates, your coterie mates, apologies, they cannot be allowed to interfere with your progression.
I know.
Do you?
I'm trying to enforce it.
Be sure that you do, darling. I really... Unless I secure this seat, there is very little I can do. And if your sire secures this seat, you can guarantee that any and all mistakes made, whether due to your coterie or due to yourself, he will seize upon.
I know.
He is not one to forget a slight, imagined or otherwise.
Yes. To that end, I wonder... Of course, there is no reason for Oliver to have spoken much of himself to me, but as of course you are very well aware, I might be able to spin this rather ragtag coterie of mine to some small advantage. I might be able to get some information that could be to your advantage were the Nosferatu to know anything interesting about Oliver. If that would help you at all.
I am not one to spurn an offer made in good faith. You are a favourite of mine, Katia. I don't think I say this enough. For now, I recommend you go home, or given the hour, I recommend you stay here. We will look into this matter. I will make it my priority as soon as I rouse tomorrow.
Of course.
And if we do find this individual, and we will, it's a question of when, we need to make a display of what we do. So we need to make it memorable. We need to make it poignant. Anyway, darling, it's getting awfully early.
It is. Thank you for taking this time to speak to me, and I assure you, if there is any way I can turn this to your advantage, I will be doing so. And the rest of my coterie will also be made aware that it will be to their advantage as well.
It would be wise advice, but hopefully they'll learn over time the benefits of siding with the Tremere.
Despite the recent, the recent happenstance, I do believe I'm getting through slowly. It's almost tragic, the extent to which the Malkavian still holds his sire in regard. I almost pity him.
We were all held under that sway at one point, Katia. The strong of will break through. If he doesn't, there's always reason to pity him. But do not let that hold you back.
Of course not. And if it does happen, if his sire goes too far, and if this does break him, then I want to be the one he turns to. I want to be the only one he feels he can trust.
That is certainly wise. But beware Edmund Sinclair. He is dangerous for similar reasons that your sire is dangerous.
I wondered. There was almost a note of similarity between them, from what I have heard.
The similarities begin and end with their ability for prolonged grudges and considerable cruelty when they feel slighted. The difference is Edmund Sinclair is dangerous for many other reasons. I won't bore you with them all for now.
Of course. It is useful to know, especially since my coterie member has voiced interest in introducing us to him. So, of course.
He is for what it's worth, given the tensions that lie between certain members of the Primogen and Edmund Sinclair, he has survived as long as he has for sheer endurance, and there's a certain something about him which, luck, I suppose. Just be careful, darling.
I will.
There is benefits to drawing a Malkavian into one's confidence, but beware the infectious madness.
Of course. Thank you again. I will let you know
Now,
if
sleep well. I will see you. Come to me close to midnight. I will do what I can. Any and all information you can turn in before you sleep will obviously make this process easier.
Of course. Thank you.
Good morning, Katia.
Good morning. And as I leave the room, I want to check the time and weigh up in my head whether it would be safe to leave or not.
It's about 4:45-ish.
I won't risk it. I can communicate with them from here.
Okay.
I suppose I will try and find the familiar room.
Yeah. It's easy enough. This is the one room that you almost never have difficulty finding. It's a very special place for you. Not necessarily a positive place for you, but it's certainly one that is most solidly ingrained in your memory, and it looks torturously similar to the first time you came in here. It's almost like no details ever change. Almost as though it's frozen in time, much like yourself. And as you enter into this room, you almost expect to see Oliver sat at the fireplace as he normally is, but he's not. It's empty. But the fire is going. Are you sleeping in here?
In here or the little room that I used to stay in as well.
Okay.
But it's almost quite comforting, was just making sure that he's not here.
You do a double check, and then you do a triple check. He's not there. Wherever he is, it's not here at the moment. And it's probably for the best, given your current turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
And whether in here or in the room that's a corridor down, you manage to find somewhere to settle yourself. And you, just like the others in their respective places, begin feeling the limbs turn heavy and then rigid, almost as though rigor mortis is setting back in. And your breathing begins to slow and then cease. And the colour begins draining out of your body. And then, one by one, your senses just switch off. And then, with eyes wide open, you just cease to function.
I would have sent Moses a message just to let him know that the hour is late and I don't want to risk travelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any information you try to get for Sabine regarding
I would
this
probably have messaged him saying anything about the assailant, about any of the Thin Bloods that I was not there for.
Because this is going to affect a check I'm going to make.
Yeah, basically I would ask for everything.
To me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
how
would-
much information do I have about the the Thin Bloods?
You can describe him.
I would also ask if there was any of his blood soaked into your coat or what you were wearing.
Actually, yeah. I gave him a nasty bite and tore
Can you
the flesh.
can you squeeze any of it out?
It's on my jumper. If you want it, I won't wash the jumper and I'll give it to you tomorrow. Does that work?
I mean, I assume we're just doing a phone call at this point.
Yeah.
If you can ring any into a small container, it's probably best off if you fridge it, keep it from drying.
It's probably drying. If not dry, by this time. I mean, I bit him early tonight.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's still sticky. It's still sticky, but it's.
And
it's
Jim's
not
aware
like,
of this because he's still wearing it.
Yeah.
I mean, might be able to do something with sticky blood.
Yeah.
You want me to
Not
do
first time.
something with sticky blood? Okay, I'll take care of the jumper and not wash it.
Okay, but any details whatsoever about any and all Thin Bloods that you have seen in relation to at all in the domain, and this goes back to before Tyler Adams.
Before Tyler Adams, not much experience with Thin Bloods, but I can try and
The important thing is
figure out something.
my clan want to help us. This is, you know how people take things. This is an offence to them, and they will help us, and it might help solve our problem quickly and cleanly.
What's the catch?
At the moment, if there is a catch, it will be something that comes back to me, because I asked for this personally, and this is a
Okay.
personal matter.
Okay, let me see what I can find about the guy, but it's kind of late.
Of course, if there's anything you find when you awaken, if you can run anything up
Okay,
at all, that would be very helpful.
I'll try.
Thank you. Good. I suppose. Good morning.
Good morning. And I just leave something hanging in the Shrek for whomever wants to read it regarding the Thin Blood. So I told him I had a nasty encounter with Thin Blood. I did describe it on the chat rooms.
And anything he's able to
Where
give me as well.
I bit a big chunk of it, and he is the kind of guy who does not go unnoticed. So if anyone has any information, I'm looking for the bastard to give him matching bites in the other arm. Yeah, just
Immediately, a familiar name responds.
you are the best
Sexy Pearl 68.
in the world.
The response that you get is a single name. Chris Young.
Chris Young. I just sent that as a text. It's like, you might be the warlock, but I'm the one working the magic. Chris Young. Night.
Can I just ask a quick ST question?
Yeah.
When I spoke to Michael Chase, because whilst time's been going on, I and Benjamin have been worrying about the scenario that he's currently in. Did Michael Chase say I had until the end of this night to accept the deal, or did he say I had until the end of the night to give him an answer?
Give him an answer.
So I think I will try to.
You're just sitting at home like.
Okay.
I'll make it right. I mean, I you know.
Yep. I need you to make the check then.
Is it a willpower check?
Let me double check.
Going against your side. This is how it starts.
It is how it starts.
This is how it starts.
Oh, you're
Doing good.
rebelling. You're.
Well, I'm going to try and roll, but
Benjamin has
see,
become a
you're-
deviant.
You're gonna be a teenager.
No, I think what's actually going to happen is I'm going to fail the roll and be
No,
and just
Daddy.
justify it like it's exactly how it should be. But we'll see.
Okay, well, let me just find.
I just figure, in like a spectrum of being fucked, if there's a way to take it down from like
The fuckometer.
yeah, I'm still in the red zone, but if I can move it
you're
more
already
towards
basically going to be constantly
The
fucked
fuck off.
by your sire anyway.
I mean, I'm
So just avoid someone else doing it to you as well.
I'm fucked for saying no, but at least I can say no politely, right, in the right time,
You can try.
Yeah.
or not. So yeah, I think he will.
You're gonna use
Because I couldn't remember which it was. I was thinking if I had till to accept
Social
the
combat over the phone.
Yeah, you're amazing.
That's actually
charisma
my-
and etiquette. Just
my only
Again,
chance of
the
surviving
Tornado
is over the phone, because in person, I mean,
Okay, hang on.
over the phone an hour before dawn.
Yeah.
That's the one you want.
this is the plan. I mean, I figure.
You literally
What I actually want to do is speak to a servant, right, and leave
Of
the
course,
message,
and leave the message.
then be
Wow,
done.
that's harsh, man.
It's so cold.
Yeah, just go up to him and repeat these words.
Yeah.
Whack!
Benjamin Green
Oh,
says,
you took it well.
fuck you.
Well,
Yeah, well, maybe not.
Thanks
Maybe
for
not
the
that many
offer,
words.
But
Okay, why is it I can never find anything in this book when I know what I'm looking for?
where's the rules go when you?
I know, right?
It's not
Real
here.
School isn't here today, unfortunately.
He's fired.
I think it's very unlikely to be relevant,
well,
actually.
regarding
Okay.
I mean,
All right. Well, we'll
Considering how
assume
many
for the
archers
moment
we've
it's
had.
willpower.
Okay, so I've taken the superficial willpower, so I'll obviously subtract
Yeah.
that. 3 successes, so I'm not calling anybody.
No. The moment you grab the
How bonded
phone,
are you, mate? You
Right,
poor sucker.
you work it
the
out.
moment you grab the phone,
No.
all that goes through your mind is just the look.
Yeah, no, I can't bear it.
The look that he gave you, and
No.
without really thinking about it, your phone's already put away, put it in
Yeah.
a drawer shut,
Good. And to bed.
and to bed. Okay, everybody, rouse checks, please.
Come on.
Jim, are you healing before you make this roll?
I have to choose, don't I?
In the house.
No! Why, rouse
Okay,
dice?
hang on.
Why?
Let me do these
Oh
totals
no!
before.
I was
Okay.
hoping I'd stay.
So Katya's on 2,
I am on 2.
Benjamin's on
The Fantastic Four.
4,
Oh, where is the
Moses is
vending
on
machine?
3.
three. Remain
Right,
at 3.
are you, before you roll, going to try and heal 1 aggravated?
Yes.
Okay. I need the awakening check.
It's a fail.
Oh, fuck.
You're on 3. Okay.
That's
Now,
what happened to me. You're right.
to heal 1 point of aggravated,
Oh my god. Why would you do this?
I need 3 rouse checks.
I didn't think I'd leave the Chantry. I think I'm cool where I am.
I mean, this is.
2 failure, 1 success. So I'm on hook of 5.
But you're not above 5, are you?
I'm not above 5.
Okay.
I'm precisely
Isn't
on
that,
5.
I mean, this feels
Okay.
worse.
It would have been
Oh.
better for you to drop into torpor.
Yes!
The moment Moses,
I wake up earlier.
yeah,
I wake up earlier.
you wake up and immediately you go and check your computers. You go through your normal routine. You don't feel any hungrier than you were, although every problem of the previous night comes into effect.
I check
And
my
you begin
emails.
cataloguing it in your head, going through your emails. There's no emails from. There's no
Alan or
No.
Alice or
no responses.
one. Messages. Nothing in the pager. Nothing.
Nope. Jim,
And look for Foggy.
the moment that your eyes open, your hand begins almost semi-shifting and pulsing as you can watch directly in front of you as old flesh begins getting overtaken and pushed off by needling new flesh, and the bone begins twisting as it reforms and shifts, and it's like your arm is going through spastic rigor mortis into different positions as it begins healing. And as you're watching this, your eyes just begin to cloud, and all you can hear around you, beyond the walls, different levels, is...
With the room I'm in, is there a bed in it?
Sorry?
Is there the room I'm in? Is there a bed in it?
No. There is a small mattress, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like all furniture since I moved, took them out, so it's just mattresses.
You have never been this hungry. And every sense is triggering.
I'm so pleased.
You
I
may
didn't
or may
come
not
back
have been
to
at this
yours.
level before, but every time it feels like a worse instance, it feels new, it feels terrible, because no kindred can remember how bad it feels to be this hungry until they are that hungry again. And everywhere you are looking, your senses are just flickering in and out, almost as though your body is just trying to keep itself moving under its own esteem. And every sense is tuned towards hunt, 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 hunt. And that pain in your stomach is almost enough to keep you doubled over as you pull yourself up from your seated position and just begin lurching towards the door.
Moses! And keep moving.
Okay. I sort of approach him. Well, I approach the area. But if I don't see him standing straight up,
Okay.
rather in the
Quick question. When you took the hoodie from him, where did you take it?
What do you mean?
The hoodie that he was wearing, the one that Katya's asked for. Where have you taken it?
You always
put it on the
destroy my
backpack.
evidence.
In your... where? Living room?
Probably.
Okay. I need a willpower check from you, please.
Oh, I haven't spent any, so I get... is that for resisting frenzy?
You
So
can smell
add
blood. There's blood in the other room.
Your humanity.
Welcome to Hunger 5.
Number 5. This is the worst thing for Jim to be on. This is very, very dangerous. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
Before you realise it, you are on the other side of the room, and the plastic bag you've wrenched to the degree where it's beginning to rip. But you're looking down at this hoodie, and it takes you a moment to realise that although your fangs are descended and they are puncturing through your lip, you're not going to eat a hoodie. There is a part of you that's balking at the idea, and you kind of bunch up the bag and toss it aside as you just watch a very rigid, very lumbering, yet fast, almost animal-like in his gait, Jim, just standing still, just his head turning almost as though he's listening.
So similar to the way he was acting in the tunnel, but worse.
Yes.
And I thought back then he was on the verge of frenzy. Yeah. And now he's acting weird.
Oh yeah, you can. Although his arm looks half coated, there are still burn marks towards the end. His fingers still look almost skeletal at points. And
oh no, he's hungry. Like if it looks, if the arm looks better, then he's worse.
Yeah.
So I go. Did you sleep well?
Blood. Need.
Okay. There is a neighbor with very loud dogs, like on that building, and I point like across the street away from me.
I assume this isn't our domain.
It's not.
No. But neither is my neck. So I would rather be sorry for those little doggies and poach.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me get the window open for you.
Okay.
Which?
It's just there.
Just go there.
Whilst he's pointing to a building across from you, your gaze is immediately drawn towards people walking the street down below, moving, and you can hear. The more you watch them, the more clear it comes.
Actually, now to think of it,
And
I know where where you can eat. I know where you can feed, and it's darker.
As he's saying this, it's barely registering as you grip the edge of the windowsill, and you're almost you are prepared. If they run, you're gone out that window. And the moment there's a quickening in their step as they hurry to try and catch a bus, you are poised, ready to throw yourself out, and it's only by virtue of them stepping on the bus that you hold yourself in that windowsill.
So what I do is try to keep calm, grab the bag, and go out.
Okay.
You got the bag, yeah, the bag with the hoodie. And go out. But I am trying to take him out from the back door of the area. Like, you don't want that area. Alleys, people there. Dark, don't kill anybody. And I will be taking this to Katya. I'll call you later. Are you okay on your own? Probably he's not listening to me at this point.
It is agonizingly loud over every single sense. All you can hear is the edge of your. You can see him gesturing.
I turn around and go into the back end of the alley and stay in the shadows watching him.
Which is probably a good thing, because the more he was talking, the more he was distracting you from your purpose, the angrier you were getting, regardless of whether or not you wanted to register. And you got it from the way that he was smiling a lot more than he's ever smiled before, and it's the baring of the teeth as an animalistic gesture, which you were acutely aware of.
Cute little ears off.
And you're probably also hearing a slight growl, maybe a snarl, just starting to come through.
Yeah. I obfuscate near
And
the wall and wait for
then
it.
as he's going, Jim's into the alley.
Okay. We'll deal with you in a bit, because this is going to be fun.
No, it isn't.
It will for me. Moses,
Okay.
how are you making towards the rough area of the Chantry? Not that you know where the Chantry is.
I'm not leaving.
No?
I am staying in the shadows, obfuscated, following him, making sure he doesn't make like a
All right, so
greater
you're
mess.
not going to be able to get the hoodie.
No,
Okay.
I told him I was leaving.
I'm wondering for this role, how much would you have passed along to Sabine's
I would give him
assistance?
the name as most importantly. Complete visual description.
Everything I give.
Everything about his comrades, their relationship with Tyler Adams. Like, if there's any word sentences from their actual conversation that Moses can remember and gave me, it's like anything about the way that they're thinking, the way they seem very
the way he talked,
devil may
very
care.
raspy, very
Yeah.
The short sentences, like
Shouldn't have done that.
cognitive process not being there.
Okay.
He hasn't got to use the blood magic
Okay.
stuff much.
The moment that you pass this information along, the acolyte makes notes and then immediately darts off.
Thank you.
You don't see Sabine. She has not risen yet, but she makes sure the information's passed along. And you are left largely alone in the Chantry. Is there anything you want to get done while you wait to hear back from Sabine?
While I'm here, I might as well make myself, somewhat useful. I would like to, because I never got a chance to, I would like to research the entity in the crossed hands, almost as a therapeutic use of my time.
Okay. Research in terms of what it might be, or research as in who it might be?
What, I think,
Okay.
at this stage.
Okay. You are moving in towards the larger room, looking between the different volumes and making a very slow process through the innumerable books which are there. And it doesn't take you long before you're interrupted by the sound of footsteps, and as the door opens, you see an acolyte kind of step in with a cluster of pictures and papers, and he stops, sees you, and then quickly backpedals, and then glances back as you see Sabine moving up the corridor towards you, and the acolyte just moves in and whispers something to them, and then gestures towards the pictures and stuff, hands it to Sabine, and she stops, glances up at you, and goes, "Be right with you, darling," and then turns and steps away, and the door shuts behind you. You wait.
Not stressed at all.
Wait. Benjamin.
So I think what'll happen is I'll get up, I'll be extremely hungry, and I'll look at the phone, and then I'll clutch my stomach, and then I'll go, "Oh no, make him wait, yes, make him wait," and then I'll rush out to feed. I'll go get in my car, drive back to my domain.
Okay. Okay, one feeding inside the domain and one feeding outside of it. Okay.
Well, better Jim feeding outside the domain than me trying to bring him to the domain.
Okay.
Yeah, safer option.
Okay. We will cover what you guys do in a moment. You continue to wait, and for the second time in 2 nights, you are uncomfortably aware of how long it's taking. When Sabine returns, she has what looks to be a bloody cloth that she just hands towards you, and it's still damp and smouldering. Go back to where this individual was last, and there will be a trace of where he went. But do it promptly, and see this matter done. I ask that you return him pre-final death.
Of course.
And I ask that you be prompt, Katia, because by tomorrow night, I expect you to be back here. There is someone who wishes to see you. The Regent wishes to see you.
Of course.
In the interest of you trying to maintain good relations with your coterie, I recommend you forewarn your Nosferatu companion. The Primogen is looking for him.
Right.
Now I have matters to contend to in preparation for tomorrow. See this done, and do it quickly.
Of course.
She turns and starts going. She still has the papers, if you want to try and sneak a look while she leaves.
Is she making an obvious attempt to hide them? Are they?
I mean,
is it
they're
somewhere
held
where-
like that, but they're not like...
Is it a position where a flick of the eyes would reveal a vague picture or a word or something?
You could get a quick glance.
Yeah.
Okay. We will say, in you trying to remain subtle, composure plus awareness. Or wits plus awareness if you're willing to risk being less subtle on a failure.
Composure's fine.
Okay.
They're both the same. 1, 2, 4 success.
4.
Hang on. Is that a bestial? No, there's only one.
No, you're all good. It's just 3
Oh,
successes.
sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, 3
It's
successes.
not a critical.
How many?
3.
3 successes.
Okay. You see what looks to have been a printout or a picture that was taken of a computer screen. And there is a still, close-up still, of a hunched individual biting down on someone's arm with Will in a booth with a knife jutting from her chest. It is clearly camera footage. And based upon the glance you can get, the very quick glance, it appears to be online. And your very quick glance, because you've got quite a few, is the website shareyourworld.com.
Thank you again.
She nods back over the over her shoulder and then steps out at the door, and it.
Okay.
Now,
Books away.
the item you have basically allows you to enact on the illuminate the trail of prey ritual. Because of what she got, this lasts for 2 nights. However, also she received 4 successes on it, which basically means the difficulty when you try and follow it is 2 rather than 6. No, 3 rather than 6. However, she expects to see you soon.
Yep.
So recommend not taking too long.
I'm going to head to the start point of the race, as it were.
Okay.
And I will.
Alone, or are you?
I'm going to call. I'm going to call Moses first.
It's in silence.
Is it? Not on vibrate? Is it on vibrate?
No, because my normal phone redirects calls to my burners.
Okay.
So the one I broke is the bzzz. This one is just completely. But I have it on me because I haven't gotten any other burners and I haven't shared numbers.
This is cool. All right. So as you are tailing him, you have no idea that your phone's just gone off. There is no response.
Okay. Text. Urgent. I'm tracking Chris. I will not do anything rash. I merely want information.
There is no response.
Well, I haven't much time. I might as well get started.
You're going to head to the McDonald's.
I am. Like, not just like, hey, stroll into the McDonald's crime scene.
That's fine. That is fine. That is fine. Benjamin.
Hello.
Are you going to hunt straight away?
Well, I'm going back into the domain.
Okay.
I'm assuming no one has called or texted or anything to let me know anything's going on. So, yeah, I guess I am gonna go back to not like the same, but find some residential houses in our domain, and yeah, I think he's just gonna kind of go through the steps that Moses showed him. I'm very hungry, but I'm not just going to like charge in for the first available snack. I'm going to be looking for safety over.
Okay.
What have you?
In that case, what method are you going to use? Are you going to use your previously effective method?
Yes, I'm going to go with previously effective.
If you
rather
are
than
trying to go safely, it will take a little longer, and
that's fine.
The the difficulty will be its normal difficulty.
Yeah.
Okay, so make your roll.
So what is this, Dex and Stealth?
Yeah. Well, if you're trying to grab someone that's out and about, yeah. If you're trying to break into someone's house, it'll be larceny.
I think it's Dex and Stealth.
You can do stealth with break-in.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's grabbing someone off the street.
I'm not grabbing someone off the street.
Someone on the street is most likely going to be a brawl.
All right, then, yeah, Dex plus stealth.
And it's a break-in.
Yeah.
Okay. So many hunger dice.
Yeah, so many hunger dice.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the difficulty?
Yeah, 4.
I'm going to spend a point of willpower because you never know.
Spend it.
I'm just burning through that willpower. There we go. Right. So 3.
Ooh.
3. Do you want to succeed at a cost?
Yeah, I think I probably do.
You do?
Yeah.
Please don't feed off of any other teenagers.
He wasn't even a teenager, he was a preteen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, do I know what the cost is? Do I get to know what the cost is before I accept it? I think I do, don't I? I think in the rules it says that.
Let me double check.
I'm pretty sure it does.
It's quite a big. I imagine it does, but let me just double check.
I think you lay down a tempting cost for me, and then I'm like,
Okay.
Take it or not, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. We haven't done desires as well, guys. We need to make sure that we start doing desires.
I have my.
We
I
all
still have my
like
desire, I've
50,
just
but
failed.
bullshit keeps happening.
I have failing miserably.
Yeah, me too.
Not your
Fulfilling my
ambition, your
desire.
desire. Is that this? Have you?
No, I
At
actually,
this point, we don't have enough time. We're just like,
Yeah. I went
I
a step
know.
towards my ambition actually,
Like, I'm
but I didn't
failing-
need it back then.
To be fair, mine's actually good. My desire's going pretty well.
Yeah,
Mine's-
we're
mine's
failing in
failing.
feeding properly. That in a way that we can go, you know what? I can dedicate a couple of nights to be like completely certain that I'm not. No, we're running from fire.
Fire to fire at this point.
Fire to fire.
I got some time to look at books. Didn't really find
Okay,
anything.
yeah. An individual that you do come across who is largely isolated, when you glance through, you recognize it's someone from a gallery. They are awake. They are likely to recognize you.
If they see me, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really hungry, man. I mean, I think that Benjamin is thinking, oh, I shouldn't do this, and then he's like, I don't think.
Okay.
He's under a lot of stress.
Oh my god.
All right. So we will say it's another check.
Yeah.
This one is not the same difficulty. This is just to break in.
Oh, it's the same.
If you fail, he will recognize
We'll see me.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
And he will know who you are.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he's seen you at the gallery.
Let's do it. Ooh. Oh. So what's the difficulty?
Difficulty is.
I should have worked on that.
It'll be 2.
Oh, well, in that case, I succeed.
Okay, excellent.
I was about to roll
I mean,
willpower
it's
because I
a
had
standard
some
house.
runs.
No, it's a standard house.
Yeah.
You manage to, as you are kind of circling around the building, it is odd just how quiet you can get, especially even when you're hungry. If anything, most people knowing Benjamin will probably think you become this blubbering mess.
No,
It's like, food. But you don't. You suddenly go silent and very intense, and as you kind of walk around the back, you notice there's the cat flap just goes, and as you're kind of staring at it, you look upwards and notice that the door, whilst it's pulled to, there's a certain twist in the doorknob that suggests that it's not set right. And as you kind of move up towards it, you push down on it and give it a bit of a additional push, not enough to break it, but enough to dislodge the lock, and it. You stop, glance, and slip inside, and then just push the door back to, even as you hear from outside. You ignore it and then go back. And as this individual who's normally comes up and comments on your art, and he seems to be quite a fan, certainly of Edmund's galleries, is just sat there just watching TV. He's got a dinner that he's laid across him. And he's just middle of eating. Silently, you just occupy the door frame and just watch him for a moment, and then you take a step closer and another step closer, and there's a brief moment where he suddenly tenses as though he can see when the screen changes from whatever he's watching to something else. There's the black moment where your silhouette just occupies the screen, and as he stops and is about to turn, you just and as you're fang seeking, he gets and just slumps, and his TV dinner just goes off, tumbling all over the floor. The drink goes everywhere, and he just becomes very and you just lean straight over the sofa and almost seem to meld in with him as you follow him down. How much are you taking?
Well, I'm on hunger 4, so I don't know if there's some kind of issue about how much I take, in the interest of fairness.
Yeah.
God, you're really making me work for the rules tonight.
You know,
I believe you
Willpower.
can take up to 2 safely.
I can take that too safely, but I have a feeling if I might have to make a willpower roll to
Taste of
stop.
blood. Yeah, taste of blood while at willpower 4. That's why I rolled willpower when I failed
I'm
at
pretty sure
willpower
it's
at hunger 4.
But it's okay, because I've only spent a couple of willpower, so it's fine.
Only 2.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, assumedly I'm making a willpower roll, and the more I fluff it, the more I drink, right?
Okay. What
I mean,
you're
it's
on
a
hunger
win-win,
for?
really. I'm on hunger
Yeah,
4.
you're on hunger 4, so you need a willpower roll.
Yeah.
I will say. What are you aiming to stop at?
I think he's aiming to stop at 2, but you know, what's an extra one between fans, say? No, I'm aiming to stop at 2. He is absolutely aiming to stop at 2, but obviously the willpower might not go on his side, you know?
Okay. All right, so you're aiming for 2.
I'm aiming for 2. I'm very
I
hungry.
need a willpower check from you.
Yep. So willpower. 4 successes.
Okay.
Nice.
It is.
Iron Will Benjamin.
You continue to drink, and your eyes just flicker behind the eyelids as you take more and more, and you feel more empowered, and you feel warmer, and you feel more calm than you have for so long, and you just continue to drink, and it reminds you of those comfortable times where Edmund used to feed you, and the only care you had was about getting your art out there. But then, as your eyes flicker, you see again as the screen flashes to blackness between the 2 channels. It's just you, and you get sight of yourself as you are biting into him, and there is a flash as you stare, and you can see a figure directly behind you, that same silhouette, and almost more out of panic, you dislodge your fangs and go back. It's only through sheer willpower that you stop from rending his vein as you pull out, and you stop, you immediately spin and look, but there's no one there. And as you kind of backpedal, you almost tumble over the sofa, and you can feel with your hand just hair, and then it reminds you that you're not alone, and you can hear the breathing, and you turn and you look back down, and you see the wound.
So I would want to close it.
So you lean in and quickly lick it closed, your tongue just darting over the trail of blood that's just pouring out these 2 holes. And then as he just begins groggily coming back around, you just step back towards the door.
Yeah.
And as you reach the door frame, you stop, and then you look back again, and you're uncomfortably aware that there is almost like somebody watching you.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here as fast as I
Okay.
can. I should add, if I hadn't already, I will have Silence of Death up at this point.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to go quickly without alerting.
Okay, so you rush back out, open the door, and close it. And even as you push it through, there's no sound that echoes beyond it. And as you look down, you just see the cat just still sat there in front of you. As you dart off, you as you go around the corner and you rush off.
So I guess I will now call. I'll probably first try Moses, but then I'll call Katia.
Okay.
But obviously I don't know when that'll happen.
Moses, it buzzes and buzzes. There's no response.
Actually, I've just thought something else I should do now. Now that I'm no longer hungry, and I'm probably starting to realise how much trouble I'm in, I will call Marcus, the ghoul.
Okay.
The guy's gonna change his number.
Yeah, it's like
This is not gonna tell any of us.
Good evening, Mr. Green.
I'm so sorry to bother you, Marcus, but I need to pass a message on to Mr. Michael Chase, and I'm afraid he hasn't given me a number to pass on a message. And I wondered if you had a number or an appropriate place to call when one wants to.
I don't believe it. I don't believe whether or not he would appreciate me handing out the information, the contact information.
I don't mean a kind of a private number, just that if there is a channel, if one wishes to speak to Mr. Chase, one should call first. I don't want anything. That was all. I don't know if something like that exists.
Well, you can always attempt to catch him at his personal domain, which is at his club, as long as you book a reservation in advance. I can provide you with the information.
Yes. What? Yes. Thank you, Marcus. That would be very helpful.
Okay, I will. I will.
To the club.
I will text over the information for you. And then he hangs up.
Yeah.
And a few minutes later, you get a number coming through that basically says the purple turtle.
Purple turtle.
The purple turtle.
That sounds funky.
It does sound funky.
Totally.
Yeah. So again, I guess at this point I will try calling Katia, but I don't know where that is in time.
Assume I'm public transport on my way there at
Yeah.
the time.
Bzzzt.
Ben, it's good to hear you.
Hello. I just thought I'd better check in and make sure everything was so.
Yes, a lot happened.
Yes.
I need everyone together as soon as we can. I'm afraid I may have found us some assistance in our current issue, some very powerful assistance.
Oh.
However, we need to act on it quickly because they are not patient.
Right, of course. Where should I go?
Well, if you want to join me, and I would very much appreciate it, because the others aren't picking up their phones. I'm sure they've got themselves into some wonderful mess.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh dear.
I think for now we need to try and fix our other problems.
Yes, there are lots of problems to fix.
Although
aren't there?
I do envisage there might be the same sort of trouble that occurred last time. It was just you and me. So really, before we engage in anything, I really would like the others to be with us. But for now, I'm finding Chris. I'm finding.
Who's Chris?
The one who.
Actually, let's talk about it when I meet you. Where should I come?
Okay, meet me at this address, and I basically tell him 1 block away from the McDonald's, because it would look really weird if we all met up right outside the McDonald's.
Okay.
All right.
I will see you there. Please hurry if you can, and let's hope we can get hold of the others soon.
Yes. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Who are you contacting now? Anyone? Or are you going straight there to wait?
I'm gonna go there, wait for Benjamin, then start as soon as me and Benjamin get together, and then the others can meet me on as I'm en route.
Okay. Are you sending any messages to Jim, or is it just to?
I would have attempted to call Jim, and I'm assuming.
No.
Just the buzzing probably pisses him off even more.
Yeah. I mean, you'd probably be fighting every ounce just not to either crush the phone or launch it. It is very distracting when you are, and so much less tantalizing as you are just moving in a very predator-like gait, just moving, swaying as you're kind of reaching corners. And as he comes up to stops, he always seems to move himself, whether instinctively or not, up onto the step of doorways or over
higher terrain.
Yeah, higher terrain as he just begins staring. And as people move past, he draws a few uncomfortable and very uneasy looks as he just watches them move past. There is no blinking. There is no blush of life. There is no pretense. He is just watching. And he looks for all the world like an addict that is on the very, very cusp of just losing his shit.
No.
Seems legit.
Okay.
To be fair, that is quite an analogy.
Okay, do me a favour.
I pointed him in the
Composure
direction
plus
of
subterfuge.
Yeah.
Don't do any favours.
I'm just trying to point him in the direction of the
So that's fine.
key part.
This is just to determine whether or not him wandering around as he is at this early hour.
That's the sun.
Yeah.
That's the sun.
This is whether or not at this early hour he draws a few looks while he's trying to wander.
No willpowering these.
No.
One.
Okay, that's what you need. People wander past, and even though there's a few looks, one person that you see tries to pull out their phone and begins typing. The woman that's on his side just immediately just puts his hand down and just leads him forward. He does give a glance back. Probably the more ballsy of the individuals, and you stare at him as he walks, almost as though you are daring him to fucking pull that phone out again. But then as they turn the corner and you see him go, there's a frustration building, and you want to try and turn and follow him. What are you going to do in order to secure food?
I'm gonna head into the alleys and try and stick to the alleys. And
It's worth noting, I mean, at this time, there are people about. This is probably one of the busiest points before the nightlife hits and before everyone's hitting all the clubs. This is the time when, whilst the sun has gone down and it's safe for you to move around, people are still coming and going.
Sales.
Yeah, you are 6, 7 o'clock. People are still out and about.
Yeah.
This is not a good time for you to be.
And this is not a good level to be at.
I mean, you're Nosferatuing the shit at the moment with the very creepy kind of. As people pass, and you are watching this, and it's like every mistake so far is culminating in a very hungry Jim that is just eyeballing strangers, and every part of you is going, This is going to go wrong.
Yeah.
This is going to go badly.
Okay, I pull the phone so I can call Katya.
Okay, and it's at that point you see you have missed calls,
Missed
you
calls,
have
missed texts.
messages.
Call Katya.
I'm pretty sure Jim's heading into alley.
Yeah.
Sorry, I miss you, Katya.
It's all right. I've made the deal. I'm on it right now. I have to move quickly, and I need you to join me when you can.
Okay, where are you?
I'm tracking Chris, or I'm going to. I'm going to take it slow. I'm not going to rush in. I'm going to play it slow. I just want to find information.
Okay, you want to track Chris.
And I have the means to do so.
Start now and
Yes.
give me a direction.
I'm going to keep updating you when as closer I get, okay?
Cool. Jim, hey, Jim.
Jim's
At this point, there is a child on a swing that there is a part of you that is very uncomfortably aware it is a child on a swing, but the larger part of you...
There's
Blood.
a part of me that's regretting trying to get him out of trouble.
Blood. It's almost like with every you're hearing blood. Blood.
I'm trying to head into an alley.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just go behind him, but
Okay.
now it's the moment of Mask of a Thousand Faces because I cannot follow him indefinitely looking like this.
Mm.
And I go to Hunger 4 in the process. Not the greatest ones!
We're going to have a feeding frenzy.
God.
So what I did...
I thought episode 7 was where it was all going to go tits up. Now you're going to prove me wrong with episode 8.
Yeah, boom.
So I tell him...
It'll be fun, guys. You'll be fine.
I found what we want. Blood and revenge. Follow me. And now I'm the one leading the hunt. Going towards where she is.
Okay, I'm going to say, because you're Hunger 5,
Jim is searching for something to eat.
what is your willpower at the moment?
Willpower, I've got 5 available.
Okay, you got 5. I will say, make a charisma plus persuasion.
Me?
Yeah. With a
That's just 3 dice.
+2, because he is hungry and you said the magic words.
Yeah.
And the difficulty will be 3, because there is blood
hunger
all around
This
you
is
at the
the
moment.
nun.
Why should you fucking walk off and follow this untrustworthy git when they're right in front of you?
But revenge, though. Revenge.
Because I said revenge and I had 1 success. So I know.
There's blood in front of you. In order for you to not immediately go for the individuals in front of you, I'm going to need 1 check from you.
Willpower?
Willpower.
Remember to add 2 for humanity.
Yeah.
Is that resisting humanity or is it just straight willpower?
No, it's willpower with +2 for
with humanities. Yeah.
This isn't you going into frenzy. This is whether or not you can actually override the sense that it's just saying feed, 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 feed.
2. 3.
Yeah. You are uncomfortably close to emerging from that alleyway, and for a moment you think he's fucking gone. And it's only then when you can hear grinding of teeth, and he turns around, and you can see, although he hasn't got his fangs out, you're pretty certain he is eroding his
Fangs
teeth
out,
from how
fangs
he's
out.
doing it. That he marches towards you, shoulder checks you, and moves off ahead of you.
Come on.
Okay.
Now we go into the base, the parking lot.
Okay.
Grab my car, not Will's car.
Okay.
Because that car smells like blood.
Yep.
My car doesn't.
Yep.
And I floor it, without getting a ticket. But I floor it towards them.
All right. Okay. Dex plus drive. This is time is. I know there's a lot of checks involved, but he is ravenous.
Yeah.
I am ravenous.
He is locked in a car with you, and you are trying to get there as quickly as you can without drawing more notice in an area where there's already police presence.
Remember when I said I should have bought that extra drive and I didn't?
Yeah, well.
That is a bestial failure.
Oh!
Is that a good point to end the session?
Oh shit!
No successes at all.
0 successes, double 1s in 2 hunger dice.
Okay, so not only is that a bestial failure, that is a complete and utter failure because no successes at all were rolled.
Yeah. And I cannot spend willpower because I only rolled hunger dice.
Oh my god.
I've been waiting for a roll like this for 7
So
episodes.
2 vampires frenzy in a car.
Oh shit!
This is like the lead up to a punchline, right?
I think these are the worst
We're
two
the
frenzy.
punchline.
And that, guys, is where we are going to leave episode 7.
God!
Otherwise known as the penultimate session.
Yeah, did you know this was an 8-episode series?
Your wording, guys, your wording is everything. I am racing through traffic and trying not to get a ticket with a ravenous vampire in the back seat.
Yeah, well, I'm very hungry.
And you're on hunger
I'm not a lot
You're gonna have
better.
a crash?
Sorry?
I guess we'll find out
You
next
just have
week.
a terrible crash and
Okay.
it's just be feeding on
Oh my
poor,
god!
My poor hunger.
Okay, guys, well, thank you again for joining us.
It's up to us now.
Thank you very much. Loved it.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. That was amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
And hopefully you'll join us next week to see.
How I die.
Yeah, because we are
This will be retired after
one way or
session.
another, we are rapidly approaching the end of book 1. And whether or not the coterie establishes itself as an actual.
Book 1 was just meant to be us settling in.
This is you settling in. Welcome to Vampire.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's not a case of just put your decor down and put out your welcome mat.
I mean,
You've
it
got to
would
like.
have been. Could have been.
This is you putting out
Should've
your
been.
welcome mat. This is you kicking off everyone that's like, no, that's mine. It's like, no, this is mine.
Well, I'm trying my best. It's alright. This time, you and me are the super
Yes.
master team go.
Yeah, we're going
Yeah, because that went so well for you last time.
We've learned since then.
Funny enough, Kindred is almost slightly less worrisome than humans.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Anyway.
so we will see you next Monday to see how the hunt goes, and in both senses, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be another Enter the Death Board. I'm certain of that.
Hashtag feed. For next
Yeah.
session.
Hashtag poor Moses.
Yeah.
And Malop.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's not going to be Moses' list of amazing places soon. It's have to be someone else's list.
It'll be
but-
all the amazing places Moses ends up in.
Oh, no, yeah. Probably next session is going to be Moses going, Malub, where are you? Heaven, apparently.
We've got a bit of Moses in Manchester. We found another bit of him down in Liverpool. This is very exciting.
Oh dear.
God.
Oh no.
All right, thank you guys, and see you
Every
next
time,
Monday.
but it won't get any worse.
Bye.